I hope you slept in this morning because we have a lot of Clash Royale to be played on this Sunday, ending your weekend off right with some heavy action in CRL West. Hello and welcome back. I'm Rich Slayton. As always, next to me, my buddy Andrew Guy, and we're excited here for the Sunday best of CRL West. It's going to be a fantastic day. Yesterday was absolutely wild. Complexity took a tumble. We had the young guys, Spades and Mikkel, showing up big, and today we expect nothing less. Before we get to our action, though, let's take one more look at our league format.
So as we hop into our league format, we're going to start today and end today the same as we always do. A 2v2 set to start off, best of 3. Next up is King of the Hill, best of 5 set. Each team submits 3 players. Each player has 1 life. And lastly, the 1v1, the tiebreaker set, where, of course, no one that was involved in the 2v2 is eligible to play in.
And, of course, all the teams playing for a shot at the World Cyber Games in Xi'an, China this July. So make sure you book your flights there soon. I'm sure they're selling out because there's a lot of people wanting to go there for all sorts of esports events, including the 2 of us. So get your way over there, and with the standings being so close, some teams only 2 games left in hand. Every single match counts more and more.
Yeah, especially for Immortals today, which we will get to in just a moment, but Complexity at 7-2 still at the top. If Immortals loses today, Complexity will clinch a playoffs position. Fnatic and SK Gaming nipping at their heels at 6-3. Right behind that, we have Tribe and Team Liquid both at 5-4, as well as Pain Gaming at 5-4 in 6th place. Immortals, as I just said, at 4-4, still looking to get into that top 6 and clinch a playoff spot. Team Keso 4-5, Cream Esports 4-5 as well, and then we've got 3 teams tied at 2-6, one of which, Dignitas, is coming up next.
A lot of these squads, you can see, have only played 8 of their 11 matches, so we'll be seeing a number of those squads today, hoping to take one more step towards that World Cyber Games in China. So let's take a look at what we have slated for today, and opening up, as my partner just said, Immortals facing off against Dignitas.
Yeah, following that, we have Misfits Gaming and Energy. After that, we have Complexity and Immortals, number 1 and number 2 in CRL NA last year. Team Queso and Team Liquid following that. And then to close out our Sunday, we have Tribe Gaming going up against Cream Esports.
And that's going to be a rough double duty for Immortals. They're going to need that win to open up against Dignitas and then turn around and get ready to go up against the number 1 team in CRL West. Of course, Complexity did just take a bit of a loss, and it feels like maybe the pressure and the speed of this season is starting to catch up to them.
Yeah, I mean, Complexity's been doing so well. They came out of the gates stumbling a bit and then went on a 7-game win streak. So we're going to have to see how they recover from their second loss. But Immortals and Dignitas both also coming off of 2-match losing streaks. And if Dignitas loses today, they are officially out of playoff contention, Rich.
At this place, Dignitas mostly playing to take pink slips from other squads and deny them a chance to go across the sea. Immortals at 4-4, still very much in the mix, but with everyone being so tight in the middle, you really have to think that those 7-win mark is the only way to feel safe.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And, you know, Immortals started off 2-0, and then since then, they've only been 2 wins of their last 6 matches. So, La Picati, Aw Crap, the God RF, and Royal really looking to turn their season around, get on track, find the rhythm to get the next W.
Across from them, Dignitas looking to spoil that trip. Blaze and Eddie have been working in the 2v2 together, with Frost and Oxalate mixing things up in the 1v1. A lot of weight has been on Frost as of late, so we'll see if it continues to carry for the team or if they switch things up a bit going into this match.
Yeah, and you know, I think they should really switch things up. We'll find out if that is the case or not. Dignitas and Immortals up next.
Heading into 2v2, once again, it's going to be the dynamic duo, Aw Crap and the God RF coming out. And look at this for Dignitas switching themes up. It's Frost and Oxalate.
Yeah, Frost and Oxalate have played together before, both playing in 2v2 a handful of times. However, their 2v2 record is 1-8 in games and 0-4 in sets. So switching things up, we'll see if it pays off. Aw Crap and the God RF just don't seem to quite be in the same rhythm they were last season, Rich.
Yeah, they've had some tough moments, and You know, we talk about whether, like, which teams have struggled the most under the change to no bans this season, and I'm wondering if they felt a little stifled creatively by having to contend with certain cards they know are always going to appear.
Yeah, that's a very, very solid, sound point. Now you see that Baby Dragon getting a couple belchers in. The poison will take care of the skeletons. Only one skelly hit coming in. And Immortals coming out on top of that very first exchange.
And good log value there for Immortals. And decent opposite direction for Dignitas.
Yep. Dark Prince meets the Dark Goblin, mitigates all damage, and does take out the Ice Wizard as well.
Another miner to the safe spot for Immortals. Have not seen a tornado yet, but given all the splash damage, you have to assume it's somewhere in there.
And the Magic Archer comes out, but is not frozen, as you see the freeze catching the Princess and the Inferno Tower.
That Magic Archer nearly got some great value trying to line up all those troops. They just did not quite sit in the exact spot Immortals was hoping for.
Yeah, and another few big Baby Dragon belches in.
Miner straight into that giant skeleton. A little uncharacteristic placement there from Immortals.
Yeah, not only have they gone to the safe spot 3 times in a row between the two of them, but they also sent it to an already placed giant skeleton. And then you see the double log, one of which hitting absolutely nothing, not even the Princess Tower. And hopefully this is not the beginning of cascading mistakes for Immortals.
Yeah, a very, very interesting few moments there from the North American champs.
Freeze catches all the guards. Poison comes down in defense. Poison also comes down on offense. Dignitas taking the lead now.
And that Magic Archer getting great value there.
Very, very nice Magic Archer value. 332 on the tower. You know there's a rocket in hand from Immortals. It's going down. There it is.
And you can see the tower down at the left nearly in trouble, but Rocket got down in plenty of time. Immortals takes game number 1 despite the little hiccups in their step. So Immortals game in hand. Dignitas trying to stop the bleeding, get themselves back on track. You know, they'd love to take one after an Immortals that's in the situation, the position they're in at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it is very, very unlikely that Dignitas can still make playoffs with their record being 2-6. However, it is not impossible. And
anything is possible! Shout out Kevin Garnett.
Lumberjack stopped by the Mega Minion and the Princess, coupled. And you see, aw crap, maybe looking over at the referee really quick.
Yeah.
Right back to gameplay.
Frustrated about something.
Yeah. Not sure what it was, but you can still see the agitation on his face.
Gotta refocus.
Yep. Very nice NATO coming in. Will clean up that entire push.
And you see Crap nodding there. He's like, okay, okay, we're good, we're fine.
Yeah, right, right. Miner goes in. Safe spot.
And considering how often they went to that spot last time and knowing about the NATO, kind of surprised that Dig goes for the pickup behind the tower rather than in front.
Same. Very, very surprised by that. And although it may only be 64 damage, those miner hits do add up.
90 seconds have passed, and Immortals out to a pretty confident lead at the moment.
Almost 20 elixir to deal with this push. A pre-log comes down and hits only the Princess Tower.
And that's some nice Magic Archer work. Will get taken out by the poison, but still got some pretty good value on all those troops.
Miner getting tanked for by the Giant Skelly. Goes to the safe spot again and connects again.
And again, they have the pickup there and go for the number 2 spot rather than number 1.
So maybe Dignitas outsmarting themselves at this moment, and Immortals just going, okay, if they're going to do that, then I'm just going to keep going to the same spot. So now they switch it up, and that is exactly what you want to see and hate to see, depending on who you're rooting for.
Lightning comes in, gets nowhere near that Inferno Tower, so Royal Giant doing nothing. Lumberjack does get a swing.
Wow, and that log coming in with the Ice Wizard saves a ton of damage that would have come in on that tower. Now they go into the front left side, so Immortals now playing the mind games inside of Dignitas' head. Magic Archer gets 1 shot in, 2 shots in, 3, look at that,
Ooh,
coupled
boy.
with the Miner.
Yeah, Miner all the way in there, getting his full life of swings.
And I don't care what the situation is, you never want that Miner to stay alive for its full health and get all the swings in on that tower. Rocket in, Poison in, Immortals are back.
There we go. A nice 2v2 win right in the ship. Ah, crap, and the God RF played that one very clean. So here we head into King of the Hill and take a look at this tower. A bit of a shift from Immortals leading off, making his 2nd appearance in King of the Hill. It's Ah Crap, who'll be followed by Royal and La Picati. Across from him, no stranger to this set, Eddie, who's followed by Ox, and then Frost will back clean up.
Yeah, Eddie's struggling a little bit in head-to-head play. He's 1-1 in 1v1 sets, but 1-4 in King of the Hill games. So with a sweep today, he could even out his record, but Immortals definitely does not want that to happen.
So AC's played some great head-to-head in the off-season, but so far in CRL between last season and this season, his overall head-to-head record currently sits at 0-5.
Yeah, not the best, but this is the time to turn things around. Right now, before you get to playoffs.
I don't care what first 3 cards you see from Eddie, I just assume it's going to be Lava Hound.
I know. He plays Lava so much, you'd think that he would be doing himself a service to shy away from it at this point, which, honestly, with the cards he has right now, maybe not, but who knows.
And Barbarians coming down.
You know, yesterday we saw Lava Hound with Barb, so...
Yeah, Lava Barb's not uncommon. This could also be Royal Giant, given the Furnace and Barbarians as well.
Yep. And there's the RG.
There we are. And Barbarians come down immediately.
So not a great thing for Eddie to see. We will have to wait and find out if that Furnace Bar Barrel combo or Furnace Snowball combo will be a way to take out those barbs that meet his Royal Giant.
A lot of flying machine damage on the left-hand side for Ah Crap.
60 seconds left in regulation. Eddie mounting a push on the left-hand side.
With the Lumberjack out of cycle, that's the perfect time to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, Lumberjack out of cycle, Flying Machine in on the Royal Giant, but this is a massive push coming back to Eddie. He does have a full...
Wow, look at all the damage the Lumberjack has got in the right-hand tower as well.
Why I literally stopped in the middle of my sentence. I was shocked at how much damage Eddie took on that right-hand tower from that Lumberjack. So, Ah Crap kind of getting away with one there.
Well, he does have the barbs as well, so you saw those used very, very well.
Royal Giant gets a couple shots in, very close to evening things up. Baby
that
Dragon.
Fly Machine should get a shot.
Yeah.
Nice job with the skeletons.
And Lava Hound from Ah Crap comes down.
Lava high. And here we go. Barbs take care of the Royal Giant.
And this could be a massive, massive counter push coming for Ah Crap.
Clone up.
There's the clone. Snowball in, but it misses the big horde in the back. This is going to be really hard for Eddie to stop.
Those little clone barbs don't quite get there, but the Lumberjack's going to get through, and Lumberjack's on the tower.
That is going to be tower down. Ah Crap taking his first head-to-head victory in King of the Hill for Immortals.
And look at that ultimate troll playing Lava Hound against Eddie.
If anyone's going to do it, Ah Crap's the guy to do it. So now Oxlip coming out for a Dignitas, 6-7 in King of the Hill. Definitely their strongest King of the Hill player thus far. Looking to stop Ah Crap, who got his first head-to-head win just now. Congratulations, Josh.
Yeah, it took him a minute, but you can't be angry with a North American Championship last season. Did his job in 2v2, and
no sir.
Currently 3-0 on the day overall. And with that win, by the way, you now have Lava Clone moving to 12-7 for a 63% win rate on the season.
Wow. It's a little bit higher than I expected.
Lava Hound overall is still just at 50%.
See that Lumberjack sneaking in front of the Ice Golem. And now a big push coming in from Crap.
Oh boy, late Inferno Tower.
Yeah. And Crap knows that was a very, very well played Inferno. However, still does get one Royal Giant shot in. Oxlet probably going to have a balloon here.
Easy counter there with the Barb Barrel, and now Crap up by about an elixir. Maybe about half. Things slowing down, and now you see AC content to wait and see what he's up against, and it is Hog Rider.
Yeah. Decides to play the Furnace there, and the Musketeer in response.
Hog EQ with Lumberjack is currently 1-0 on the season.
Crap burning through a couple elixir there, waiting to see what Oxlet did. And he shows his win condition and an Earthquake.
Snowball cycle, final 10 seconds of single elixir. Heading into double elixir, Crap with the slight lead. And Oxlet throws everything he's ever had at the river.
You see the barbs there going to meet, but they get caught up by the Lumberjack, and 3 big swings in from that Hog Rider. So Crap looking to switch lanes, going into the Hog push. Trying to turn defense into massive offense.
And I like that he went with the Royal Giant all the way in the back at that moment, not trying to do too much with all the troops at the bridge. And now he has a very, very healthy push and a guarded Royal Giant coming through.
Yeah, and that lightning does not hit the Inferno Tower. He opts to go for the DPS units instead off to the left, as opposed to taking out the tower on the right, it seems.
I think that was only 2 shots, though. I don't think it was, I saw a third come down.
I don't know if it was out of range or it was a misclaim.
Still slightly ahead on Elixir is Crap, but now Oxlet getting a good opportunity for his Earthquake.
Yeah, Oxlet really kind of putting the pressure on AC at this moment. And now Snowball comes in. He's got enough elixir for the Inferno, but Oxlet knows that.
And a very, very well-timed lightning, clearing out the support troops and getting a couple key shots.
Lumberjack down, Hog right behind, trying to get a couple more hits in. A very high Furnace is played.
Very high Furnace, and with the troop support, still not enough for the raged up Hog.
Crap, kind of nodding that one off.
Loads up in the back with another Royal Giant, knowing the Hog Rider is not in cycle to punish.
Now 6 elixir leaked from Crap.
I was just looking at the same thing, Andrew. Kind of a large amount.
That's a free Royal Giant right there, my friend.
It's a very good point.
And Hog Rider gets Hog Rider on the tower. That is going to be game.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
89 HP separates Oxlet from losing that game. Instead, he steals it away from Crap. Opportunistic plays with the Hog get the victory. So a very close finish, Andrew. Let's go back, take a look at what happened. We saw Crap threw the Royal Giant down behind King Tower, knowing that the Hog Rider was out of cycle, but leaks just a little bit extra there, and we noticed this was a big issue in this game.
Yeah, I mean, 6 elixir, that's another lightning, that's another Royal Giant, who knows, and you wonder if maybe playing a little bit more aggressive throughout would have gotten him that extra 85 damage that he needs at the end. You see, it's really a race for it, the finish 89, excuse me, and it's not really that Crap didn't play well, it's just that he had small misplays that I believe cost him the game, because 89 HP is basically nothing.
It's right there. I mean, there was the lightning that we only saw hit 2 things at once, didn't get the Inferno Tower, so some curiosity there. Might have been spread too thin, but that's in the past. The future now is Royal, who's making only his 10th appearance in King of the Hill play this season.
Yeah, and he has not showed up in a 1v1 set. And just one last thought on that is if you hit that Inferno Tower earlier and stop it, that Royal Giant gets another shot.
And that's the difference.
Yep. Hindsight's 2020. It's a lot easier up here in the booth.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice plays by Crap. And now Royal making his 10th appearance, as you said, looking to try to move his head-to-head record into the win column.
Well, you know, Royal benefited a lot last season from the 1v1 set being second and from getting a ton of reps and being in rhythm. And I got to wonder if playing so few games, not able to appear as much as he's used to, if that kind of keeps him cold.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot to the players about how, you know, King of the Hill is really more luck of the draw, whereas in a 1v1 best-of-3 or best-of-5 set, you can really kind of pick apart your opponent and strategize against them based off what they do in the first game.
So first minute 15 down. So far, no one's done anything significant.
Yeah, and you wonder if Royal's going to be playing Golem, seeing the cards that he has. We've also seen those cards surround other win conditions, but everyone knows that Royal loves playing the Golem.
Yeah, why wouldn't he? He's possibly the best in the world at it.
Yeah. And for a team that needs wins right now, why not go with your best?
Of course, that Ice Wiz NATO Tombstone could be super annoying, assuming there's a NATO in there for Oxalate.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty warranted assumption. So here we go, double elixir time. When will we see the first Golem up from Royal, assuming that's what he's playing?
Baby Dragons meeting at the river. Both these players loading up on the right-hand side. Poison down for Oxalate, which will take out the E-Wiz.
And you see Royal just kind of sitting back and not getting that Golem out, cycling defensive troops in the back, cycling support troops in the back, maybe just trying to get Oxalate to blink.
That's exactly what it is. You know, we've watched Royal play for so long and so many times. He's waiting for Oxalate to make a mistake and then in turn gain an elixir advantage to where he can play a Golem comfortably, because playing against Royal Giant, playing against Graveyard, you can get punished opposite lane so quickly, and then all of a sudden you have no legs to stand on as a Golem player.
So now you see Royal ahead significantly on Elixir. We'll see if he pulls the trigger as we go into sudden death.
Yeah, and right there is where he wanted to play it, but Oxalate knows that, so he's loading up. Even if he has no Elixir, putting pressure on is the best way to defend against the Golem in this moment. Oh, Giant.
Giant.
Okay. So switching up the beatdown mechanics.
And E-Wiz does a great job, gets the retarget on the Baby Dragon, so that E-Wiz is still alive.
Yeah, look at that. And honestly, you can just go back and apply everything that we've said thus far and just switch out the word Giant for Golem. Because that's exactly what he's been doing. Very conservative play, very much defensive, but not breaking through.
Yeah, Oxalate in the lead right now, 2 minutes, 12 seconds left. Reminder, if this game ended right now due to lowest single tower rules, Oxalate would take the victory.
So Royal looking to get a good value lightning here. And there it is.
That's a good one.
Baby Dragon on the tower. Giant will get one. Nope, does not get a swing in.
But those Baby Dragon belches take the lead for Royal. You see Oxalate kind of bend his head there. Did not want to take that one.
Yeah, so focused on stopping that Giant, but the Dark Prince obviously not able to take down the Baby Dragon, and a lot of belches came in for that lead.
Oxalate goes pretty early with that Tombstone.
So Baby Dragon up high to meet Baby Dragon. A lot of units drop down low on the Graveyard. Poison value in should take care of the E-Wiz.
NATO's it all together for some splash damage.
High Lumberjack not able to squeeze past the units in a big traffic jam, trying to rage everything up. Dark Prince on the tower, and Ox knows that that is it.
Wow, Dark Prince escapes, and there you have it. Royal throws a bit of a juke, shows Golem, plays Giant, and gets the win.
So as you just said, Rich, Frost, the last man standing in King of the Hill for Dignitas. He's been in this position many times before this season and last. Let's see if he can take down Royal and Lapicati and push this to a third and final set.
Well, if Royal's getting loose, that's going to be a very difficult out.
Yeah, I mean, look, if Royal hits his stride right before playoffs and they come in the 6th spot, they are still a incredibly threatening team.
So looking like Hog EQ for Frost. And you see Royal looking over to his bench. I bet you that he and Trainer Luis expected this.
Yeah, you know, Trainer Luis is kind of a legend in the sense of picking out and sniping their opponents. And you see the barbs there, you see the snowball. Already 2 great counters to that Hog Rider.
Flying Machine comes opposite direction and looking like it might be lava for Royal.
Hog Rider does get 1 swinging on that right-hand tower. Valkyrie stopped by a defensive miner. And looking more and more like lava as we see the miner come out. And it's a giant again. No.
At this point in the season, you know, I'll expect anything.
I honestly, after what we saw yesterday, I am happy to not know what some people come out to play. That deck that Spades played was just out of this world.
So here we are, getting closer and closer to sudden death, or to double elixir, excuse me, and there you see the barbs easily taking care of that Hog Rider. He loads up left-hand side.
Snowball in, but Miner tanking for the Flying Machine after the Barbarians, and that is going to be a devastating blow.
Wow. Flying Machine was so frustrating last season, has not been seen as much this season, but has had its moments for sure.
Yeah, still just as frustrating as it used to be. The range on it, the mechanics behind it, so hard to defend against. Especially if you look at Frost's deck, I mean, the best way to get to the Flying Machine is to snowball it forward to the archers or to just drop archers on top of it, and neither of those is really what you want to do.
Really interesting Inferno Tower there, and you see Royal just taking advantage.
EQ comes down but does nothing to all these units on the board that are flying in the air. Miner goes in again, not picked up by the Skellies.
Hog Rider gets a shot though, so that's actually pretty big.
Yeah, Hog Rider going back in again. Frost going all out on offense.
And that's 1 big shot. Needs 1 more poison for Royal to finish things off, but Frost could get back to another Hog Rider in time, potentially.
I would have saved that snowball. Miner going to go into the front. That's going to do it. Oh, Miner off.
And he does get the swing. Royal finishes it off. You see the little eyebrow raise, and it was a tense moment there at the end, but Royal, I got to feel like he knew he had it, and he played it beautifully.
Yeah, very well played by Royal. So now Dignitas has been officially eliminated from playoffs because of that man right there giving a big hug to his coach, Trainer Luis. And honestly, you know, Royal being one of the best in the world, I don't think anyone ever felt that he wasn't, but it's very nice to see him back in fighting form.
Yeah, it's been a pretty rough season. Some surprises for Immortals from top to bottom, but this is an important win not only for Royal personally to get back in rhythm and feel like he's firing on all cylinders, but also for this squad to move back into the positive on their season win rate.
I mean, look at it this way, Rich. Last season with 2v2, King of the Hill, and 1v1 combined, Royal has only lost 6 games last season. He's already lost 6 games this season and barely played at all, so very uncharacteristic for the young Romanian, but now it appears he is back, and Immortals could not be happier.
Yeah, that was a good performance, a good way to shake off some of the rust, some of the cobwebs, some of the soreness, whatever you want to call it, from this last season and getting into the mix. But of course, remember, later today, they have to face off against Complexity. So they have to turn around and go from the bottom all the way to the top.
And that's one of those things. They needed this win today over Dignitas. They needed to have it before they go into that match against Complexity, because we've said it so many times before, confidence and momentum is everything.
So let's go down to the floor where Rachel has our winners.
Thank you, guys. I'm down here with our winner, like you said. Royal, that was a wonderful cleanup for Immortals. You took this match, and how important was this match in your estimation compared to all the others that you guys have played so far?
I mean, this was probably the most important so far, because if we would have lost this game, I'm pretty sure we would have not made playoffs. So now we have a pretty good chance of making it.
Do you play better or worse with that kind of stress on your shoulders?
Honestly, I wasn't stressed at all today. I mean, I felt the stress when they started playing 2v2s, but then it just faded away.
Well, 2v2s, you guys had that on lock, but then coming into King of the Hill, things are a little bit different. You did bring some wonderful choices as far as decks, though. Tell me a little bit about the deck that you brought against Oxalate. We saw some Golem play, some interesting stuff there. And, oh, sorry, you subbed in the Giants.
So I like the playstyle because it has a lot of cards that fits in my Golem deck as well. And the matchup, I don't know who had it, but it wasn't hard for me.
And as I understand it, that's a deck you only picked up a couple days ago.
Yeah, like 4 days ago.
Well, you certainly made it your own there. Great job. And then moving into your final match, we had a moment. I'll call it a moment where you looked down at your team, you looked down at Trainer Luis when your opponent played Earthquake. Tell me about that story in that moment.
It wasn't about the Earthquake, it was more about the deck, because we were like looking in his deck pool. And I was like, hopefully he doesn't play Hog Inferno Tower, because that's the only hard matchup. Then as soon as he plays Hog, I was like, okay, that has to be the deck. But we also practiced it a lot, so I knew how to win.
Excellent. Give me a little more insight into the communication and your team there, Trainer Luis supporting you guys. But as I understand it, you're a wonderful unit together.
Yeah, Luis, like, even though he's not playing, I would say he's keeping us united and making the hardest job.
Well, you can definitely see it now. Immortals picking up those wins. You still got a little ways to go, but we'll see how that all plays out as CRL West continues. But for now, let's give it back to the casters.
Thanks a lot, Rachel. And yeah, the little nonverbal communication, you know, we thought maybe that's what they were expecting, and of course, it turns out that that's what they were hoping it wasn't going to be.
But of course, Royal shows up in his true fashion, and it doesn't matter, as you said about his second game there, or his first game, it was easy for him.
It wasn't hard for me.
Love the Romanian, love to see him playing, and great to see him back on top. Immortals now working towards one of those top 6 spots, and now a good chance of making playoffs.
Yeah, good chance of making playoffs, but of course they'll be back later today in that match against Complexity, so they need to at least win one of the next 2, preferably both of those next 2 to make it, but they have some tough outs ahead of them. But a nice win to start off the day, and of course we are not done. We have a full slate coming your way, and next 2 teams who both need a win right now, it's Misfits versus Energy. Two more teams in desperate need of a win, both sitting at 2 and 5 at this stage in the season.
Oh yeah, it's 2 and 6. Sorry to
2
correct
and
you
6.
there, but yeah, these guys really need to get a win in today. Their playoff hopes are still alive, but just barely breathing. And I think it really is going to come down to the 2v2 set. If Energy takes it, they should take the rest of the match. However, if Misfits steals that set, it feels like it's the end for Energy.
Yeah, I know, heading into King of the Hill against a squad that's performed so well there.
Yeah.
Between the play of Trainer Chris lately and Wings, of course. So this 2v2 really seems like it holds everything in the balance.
Yeah, and you know, Hazard and Carter started off so well. They've ended up 4 and 4, so really not that bad being even. And on the other side of it, Misfits has just struggled the entire season. Their best record holder in the 2v2 set is 3 and 5 with 9 games won and 11 lost. So again, that 2v2 set kind of holding it all today.
So players getting ready to take the stage. You see, of course, Baron still sitting there with their broken foot. Coming out for Misfits, Loei, Wings, Trainer Chris, and Baron. We'll see who takes the stage for 2v2. Have been switching things up a little bit as of late.
And on the other side of it, you have the red team of Energy with a very shortened roster. Now, you see there at the bottom, Lich, Pentakill, and Pedro never actually showed up at CRL West. So wondering there if there could have been a different roster just selection. But Hazard, Carter, and Thunderstruck have been with us almost since day one. Thunderstruck joined a little later. But Energy 2 and 6, Misfits 2 and 6, again, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Let's head to the 2v2. Getting ready, Misfits versus Energy. So coming out for Misfits, it will be Loei and Wings, and they are coming off of a 2v2 win over J-Monty and B-Rad.
Yeah, definitely a very nice 2v2 set win over those two gentlemen. So Wings and Loai feeling very good. On the other side of it, you have Carter and Hazard, who have come off 2 2v2 set wins over Henan Kava and Surge TS and Surgical Goblin and Canario. So 2 big-time set wins for the guys in red.
And here we go, Miner to the safe spot, picked up by the Giant Skeleton. But Baby Dragon gets on tower as well. So some belches do get splash damage.
And there is the Earthquake coming out for Energy, a card that we saw a decent amount in 2v2 very early on in this season, but not a lot as we move forward.
That Ram Rider just trying to find a way through, but the lane was completely clogged, and an easy King Tower activation for Energy.
However, that tower down to 1935. Both teams resetting now, getting to max elixir.
And there goes Energy sitting up left lane with their second Ram Rider push.
A defensive miner comes down to meet that Lumberjack. Ram Rider will connect still. Oh, wow,
Oh.
it does not.
And again, it's the same thing that happened on the other side, was a troop getting in the way physically and just clogging up the space.
Yeah, very, very well played defense by Misfits.
And here we go, Misfits lavas up as we get closer to double elixir.
So Lava Miner going up against double Ram Rider with Earthquake.
So Giant Skeleton will get met just past the bridge by the Dark Prince.
Haven't seen any big spells from Misfits, so now Poison finally coming down.
Poison does pretty well, and now some good damage to the right-hand lane. 48 seconds left, and Misfits trying to defend here on the left-hand side, but the Dark Prince will connect.
Yeah, big time. Few hits there coming in by that Dark Prince, bringing the tower down to 15, 17, excuse me. And the Lightning still in a good position is Misfits.
Miner to the outside. Misfits takes that tower down to 950. Lumberjack to pick up the Dart Goblin.
And the Lava Hound to tank for that Musketeer.
Good timing, letting the Musketeer get across the bridge first before picking up the aggro.
And that Flying Machine could have been played one tile to the right, and then if it did survive, could support the Lumberjack, but that Poison should take care of it.
Lumberjack gets the tower, Poison down. Miner does not come in.
Misfits opting to focus on their defense instead, and that is the correct decision. With that freeze coming down, that could have been devastating.
Wow, a big connection down to 424.
So Miner on in the inside, Lightning goes down, now within Poison range. Misfits,
Energy needs to put on the gas.
Ram Rider coming in, this is their last chance, not gonna make it. Poison needs to come down for Misfits.
And there we go. Poison comes down. Ram Rider trying to beat those poison ticks. 1 tick, 2 tick. Ram Rider connects and steals it!
One more tick is all, two more ticks they still needed, and that was a shocking last-ditch effort by Energy, and you see how happy they are with that move. So a last-second steal there by Energy. Misfits having to bounce back in this game. They were so close and honestly in the lead for most of that game, but that Ram Rider sneaking in the end was just too much for them to handle.
Energy just said, we have elixir left, let's just spend it and see what happens, and got the win.
Yeah, 29 HP remaining on that right-hand tower is just so very close. It's almost Energy's more used to losing with that much HP.
I was going to say the exact same thing. So it might be running back the same matchup.
Yeah, looking very similar this time. Ram Rider coming in, Poison on top of that Flying Machine. Ram Rider does not get the charge or the
does not connect, no. Miner in, Dark Prince picks up, and a very nice NATO. The snowball just off a little bit, and those pups getting some significant damage on the left-hand side.
Yeah, down to 1803. Great bar barrel value there. Oh, but the Lumberjack last second, I love that. Lumberjack on Lumberjack. Oh, wow. Dark Goblin still alive.
Everything about this working out very well for Energy. they might get a ranged up connection, and they do.
Yeah, and the freeze. 2 more hits in, and the King Tower activation last second. That was almost horrible for Misfits.
Yeah, Misfits did get the King Tower activation. The freeze was a pretty big spend in that moment for Energy. You can see they are extremely low on Elixir right now, but opting to keep the pressure on.
Yeah, that freeze demanded that the NATO or at least another unit come out, so surprisingly close in Elixir, and Misfits behind now.
A nice simple kite of the Baby Dragon to the opposite lane. Easily taken down by the Princess Tower. Entering double Elixir time, and Energy has once again turned the tables on Misfits.
Got the nice 700 HP lead here. You see the Inferno Tower taking down that Lava Hound with ease. Those pups are basically negligible at this point.
That bomb might be close enough, and it is!
Oh, yeah. That is big time, and you see how frustrated Wings was. And still is.
And now Energy can just load at their side, and Wings just put his device down, nearly took his headphones off. So frustrated, not even really playing at the moment.
Yeah, and you hate to see that. You know, Wings has played so tremendously this season. He's 10-3 in King of the Hill. He's 12-9 in head-to-head play, and honestly, he's kind of been the heart of Misfits going forward this season. And you see that, and you just kind of feel bad for the guy.
So Carter and Hazard doing it in style. Big win in 2v2 to open up this match. Well played, boys.
Yeah, Carter and Hazard now moving their 2v2 set record to 5-4. Misfits falling in the 2v2 set, having to make something happen in King of the Hill.
Trainer Chris, Wings, and Baron coming out for Misfits, and I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's some combination of Carter, Hazard, and Thunderstruck for
You
Energy.
fortune teller, you. Looking right into the future. We got Carter coming out first, Hazard right behind, and Thunderstruck to close things out.
No, you will not put your Barbarian on my tower.
Trainer Chris looking up, thinking to himself.
Maybe he heard me?
Honestly, it seemed like it.
Yes, I will put my Barbarian wherever I want. Thank you very much.
Bar Barrel coming in to tank for that Dark Prince.
And Ram Rider turns that Dark Prince around. Beautiful play by Chris.
Yeah, very, very nicely executed.
And does barely get a connection.
Hunter there to clean up, but goes down. Baby Dragon should get a belch in. No, Snowball comes down to save it.
So Ram Rider for Trainer Chris, and you know, a lot of those parts for Carter look like they would be Goblin Giant Sparky, but Ewiz not traditionally a part of that. It looks like we're going Bridge Spam instead.
So P.E.K.K.A. going to P.E.K.K.A. So will we see the opposite lane where everything else gets dropped, or will they double down behind Mama P.E.K.K.A.?
And they even sound heavy.
So the Graveyard comes down for Carter.
Yard. That's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, I like this. Not enough Elixir to throw a Ram Rider in front of these troops, so the Baby Dragon will go down unassisted.
And Hunter will easily take care of the Baby Dragon. Heading into double Elixir time, and it's the Ram Rider P.E.K.K.A. deck up against P.E.K.K.A. Hunter Dark Prince Graveyard.
Yeah, very, very interesting Graveyard deck coming out from Carter.
And just behind the P.E.K.K.A. for a push.
Yeah. P.E.K.K.A. up top. Will we see another Graveyard? There it is. No poison. Baby Dragon coming in. Baby Poison now down.
And it's getting that E-Wiz, just waiting to see what it could pick up.
Yeah. Nice value there. And once again, a very weak counter push coming back. Ram Rider stays behind the P.E.K.K.A.
E-Wiz comes in high, gets lightning, and the Hunter far enough away from the tower to avoid any splash damage.
Yeah, cleaning up very, very nicely.
It'd be hard to be much closer at this stage as we go into sudden death overtime. Just 6 HP separating these two.
And they've leaked the exact same amount of Elixir.
They are also the same height.
And P.E.K.K.A does still cross the bridge, is getting tankage in for those skellies. Now enough elixir for Ram Rider to go in front of the P.E.K.K.A. This is what Trainer Chris wants.
Barbarrel turns the P.E.K.K.A around, and Dark Prince stops. And again, very nice job not just stopping the Ram Rider from getting to the tower, but also being far enough away to not let that baby dragon get splash damage.
That was as close as it gets, halfway through her swing, and the Princess Tower takes down the P.E.K.K.A of Trainer Chris.
Hunter in support of the P.E.K.K.A. Another high poison to make sure it gets the E-Wiz.
Yeah, that
and look at this,
adding up.
Look at that Barbarrel graveyard push, just snuck that one through.
Yeah, some skellies do get on the tower. Another P.E.K.K.A dropped on both sides of the field. That Hunter is still alive, however, needs to get out of play for Trainer Chris.
And I was waiting to see if Carter would drop something in front of the E-Wiz. He does.
Oh, this is big. Now that Bandit is getting tanked for by the P.E.K.K.A. That Ram Rider should be getting straight to the tower. Carter knows it.
Oh boy, that's a big connection, and the baby dragon as well.
Oh, that is huge.
And Carter doesn't have a lot to deal with this.
No, and one more hit. And the baby dragon not there. So not quite within lightning range, but just waiting on that snowball.
And Carter just goes ahead, sells out. Graveyard, let's go ahead and see if he can do it.
Trainer Chris holding the snowball.
Surprisingly patient, pays off. Trainer Chris takes game number 1 of King of the Hill.
So Trainer Chris looking for his next victim in Hazard, who, as my partner just said, is 4-8 in head-to-head play. He has not shown up in a 1v1 set.
Trainer Chris, though, adding another win to his record this season and moving himself to even.
Last season, you know, Trainer Chris has improved greatly since last season. He didn't play a whole lot, but last season he only had 1 victory, 1 draw, and 8 losses in the 2v2 set. He actually never showed up in head-to-head play.
Well, he's definitely had his chance to show up so far this season and has taken advantage of those in certain cases.
Yeah, you know, with the competition being much steeper this year at CRL West, going even in King of the Hill is nothing to be shy about. That is a tough thing to do.
And here's a Sparky. An immediate hog opposite lane.
Oh, and the Hunter is going to make quick work of that Hog Rider.
You're going to get a shot out of that Hog Rider every time, though, against the Hunter, so it's going to be about whether Hazard can continue to play good defense against these Goblin Giant Sparky pushes and get that one shot every time.
So here we go. First defensive sequence in the books for Trainer Chris. Or I mean for Hazard, excuse me, against Trainer Chris.
Comes out on top. Slightly ahead because he already has troops on the board, and now he goes Hog Rider right lane immediately. And this one is going to get a few big swings.
Yeah, no elixir in hand. You see finally hitting 4 now, so a Dark Prince comes down, but that is a devastating blow from Hazard. Look at that.
Yeah, you really have to be ahead of the game when you're playing against Hog Rider with Goblin Giant Sparky. You don't have the luxury of kind of letting yourself get into a tight spot, because what just happened is exactly what will occur every single time.
Well, you don't have a lot of cheap units that can play defense and in turn create a counter push, because honestly, if you just drop a Hunter or a Mega Minion to clean up the Hog, it's going to get a hit, as he said, and then in turn it can almost be ignored by your opponent.
So Chris doing the smart thing and taking this push the opposite lane towards his weaker tower.
Lightning comes in, takes down the Inferno Tower. And already this sequence is starting to make me a little bit nervous, but still defended very well by Hazard.
Yeah, Hazard played that very, very smart. Chris was trying to defend that Sparky, could not make it happen, and so even now, with this Hunter, you're gonna see one swing, gets it done, so both lanes in trouble for Chris as we move into sudden death.
And that is not a position you want to be in as a Goblin Giant Sparky player, because your opponent can just continue to switch up lanes and keep a lot of pressure in. As you see right here, this is going to be a big push once again. It's very hard for you to create an offensive presence as you're too busy playing defense.
Goblin Giant Sparky has been insanely dominant, has been insanely popular, but it is running into a brick wall right now.
Yeah, Hazard playing these defenses incredibly efficient, and that is the worst thing that Trainer Chris can have happen to him. Now switching lanes once again, so what do? Valkyrie Hog Rider opposite lane. EQ comes down, that is big time.
Yeah, Giant Snowball to try to help get the finish. Hog Rider does get a swing, so now within spell range. This is a well-played game by Hazard. He's to cycle back and finish this off.
And the cheapest of cycle cards. You see the Snowball, the Bar Barrel, all that Earthquake back around. Very, very well played by Hazard. So now Wings is up next, and Wings is really the standout King of the Hill player for Misfits at 10-3. So Hazard here looking to shut the door on Misfits. Wings in a position to actually, with a win here, he'll have the exact same King of the Hill record that he had last season, which was 11-3. Right now sitting at 10-3.
He's just so good in this set. Some people play worse under the pressure King of the Hill. He is the exact opposite.
Yeah, it's kind of astounding because you look at his 1v1 set record last year, which he played a lot more 2v2, but he was 2-5 in 1v1. But someone that's 11-3 in King of the Hill just shows you that whatever it is about the pressure of King of the Hill, the luck of the draw, the matchup decision, Wings just has that nailed.
Hazard going right back to Hoggy Hugh.
Wings here looking like he's running some bridge spam.
And does not get a swing.
Battle ram down, getting tanked for by the Ice Golem. A very nice snowball there that's going to mitigate all the damage.
This specific Hog, I mean, assuming that the rest of the cards are as I believe they will be for Hazard, this variation of Hog Earthquake is the 8th most popular deck this season at 14 plays, or now 15 plays, and sitting at 10 wins, 5 losses.
Oh, okay. So faring decently well. And Hazard's doing the correct thing and just switching up lanes. That's like the most important part of playing this deck when you're running into an opponent that is putting in pressure in the same lane that you're going to. No matter how much damage you've already committed to that tower, you've got to switch it up. Obviously, in the beginning, it's much easier to do, but you have to switch lanes. You can't just keep going right into your opponent's push.
So here we are, heading into double elixir time. Not much has gotten through for either player so far.
Yeah, Hazard in a very, very small lead.
Really smart Giant Snowball pushing the Musketeer out of range so the Valkyrie could do her job against that battle ram.
Yeah, I really like the placement on that. You saw it almost pushed the Ice Golem and the battle ram to the tower, but not quite, and keeping the Musketeer out of play. Very, very nice snowball.
That defense went very well for Hazard. Wings Muskies up to meet that push. Has to find some way to stop this Hog Rider.
So an early Inferno Tower coming down, expecting a battle ram somewhere. Playing it there means you can snowball it in either direction.
Fireball did a good job on the troops in the back, but not getting any tower value.
So a bit of a stalemate at this moment. Both these guys trying to figure out how to break through.
And this is a lot coming over the bridge.
Wow.
Hazard defending it pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, very well.
That Musketeer does get a shot off with the Princess Tower targeting the Prince, but now Hazard responding with a Hog Rider in the right lane.
Yeah. Musketeer down and Bandit to meet it. 21-25 to 21-72.
Nice snowball Bandit timing from Wings to push the Hog Rider back and get a nice dash on for the kill.
Yeah, very nice use of those skeletons as well. And the archers to mitigate 100% of that push.
Bar Barrel not down in time to protect the Valkyrie from taking that shot.
Bandit dash misses on the barb that disappears. And Bandit dashes to the center. Last second Skeletons. Very well played by Hazard.
Hazard's use of Skeletons has been on point so far, really timing them well. We have not seen a Skeletons just thrown away for in any way, whether it be for cycle or poor placement so far.
And that's one of the most important parts of using, I mean, I was going to say this deck, but if you use 2.6 as well, any quick cycle deck with Skeletons, if you can gain or garner positive elixir positive elixir exchanges with them, that is the best way to stay ahead of your opponent and keep them on their heels. Might have been the hardest sentence I've said in my whole life, Rich.
Well, you got through it in the end, Andrew. That's what matters. But not as much as the final minute 15 seconds of this game. Remember, we are in lowest single tower, so if we ended right now, Hazard would take the victory, but he is against the deck with a little bit more firepower to the tower in the place of that fireball.
Yeah, and you see that EQ coming down, recognizing that this is becoming a spell cycle game. Most likely a tower will not fall, so Hazard getting the early jump on it. But that Bandit, ooh, Bandit walks towards the King Tower. A lot of damage in on the right, however, with those minions.
Whoa, those minions suddenly change everything because now Wings has two options of ways to push to try to get this spell cycle going.
So Earthquake comes down once again. 35 seconds remain. Wings going for a big push before Battle Ram gets to the tower.
Oh, wow!
That is huge. Wow.
And look at how much elixir Wings has to defend on the back end as well. That should be it. Looks like Wings has most likely clutched up in game 3.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate series of interactions there for Hazard. But wow, the hog hit comes in. So now a fireball and snowball is expected out of Wings. But will it be enough to bring it below 796? Snowball not in cycle. Not there!
Wow!
Oh my gosh! That would have done it.
Hazard wins by just a hair. You can see the relief, the sigh, I can't believe what I just lived through. Carter taking a look at that, cannot believe himself. Chief J can't believe himself. Hands on the heads, energy losing their minds. Hazard now 1 win away from a sweep in King of the Hill and a 6-game win for Energy over Misfits.
Yeah, so Baron taking his time to get up that tower. Of course, we wish him a speedy recovery, but right now Hazard wants to take him out and shut the door.
And just so you know, Hazard is not that much taller than Baron. He is sitting down due to his injury.
So Baron starting early with some BMs coming out.
I mean, if this was how tall they actually were, it looked like Hazard could easily dunk.
Which he's told us time and time again that he can. We're just waiting for him to show us.
Oh boy, Minor Rascals. And there we go, Goblin Giant in the back, and there's your mortar, Andrew.
Yes, sir. Royal Hogs mortar.
And Baron going with a Lumberjack version, this one having the Bandit.
And Hazard probably wishing he had those Rascals back in cycle right now.
And that dash does get off.
Yeah, that is a big-time connection on both sides. Opting to use his tank a little bit early was Hazard, and he is definitely paying for it. The Rascals are the beefiest card that you have, or the Rascal Boys specifically, and he just really needed it right then.
Well, pretty aggressive mortar in the right-hand lane as well, rather than trying to use it in some way as a response to the Goblin Giant.
Yeah, you saw the Goblin Giant go down the mortar maybe almost at the same time, but a defensive mortar probably would have paid off more for Hazard in that moment.
Mortar helping a bit with that muskie in the back, only gets one shot to her. You might remember from yesterday that Goblin Giant Sparky has been, with Lumberjack, has been the #1 performer as of late.
Yeah.
Overall, Goblin Giant Sparky Lumberjack is at 82% through 17 plays.
And I love that Miner in the back, knowing that it would have been picked up by Baron, expecting the Miner to tank for the bat, so having to drop the Musketeer up high. Bandit still sneaks in front, though, so not quite working out the way that Hazard had thought, but a really nice idea.
So Baron goes Sparky one more time. Goblin Giant right in front, and immediately it's Hazard going left lane.
Yeah, now Hazard does opt to go for the defensive mortar. Minions and the Horde come in.
Wow, and the Minion Horde do a good job.
And there are the Rascals to pick up the Bandit Dash, but the Lumberjack does get through.
And now, Hazard mortars up again. Chooses to take the Bandit shot, and he gives out the well play.
Yeah, he knows that that did not go his way. He's just going to opt to eat that damage of the Bandit. He has to defend against the Musketeer, however, and that Minion Horde getting eaten by the Snowball.
He isn't going to be able to stop this Sparky, I believe, but not the Goblin Giant.
Yeah, and the Minions right behind. This could be tower down. Yes, it is. Wow.
Hazard gives the good game. Very, very well played, Baron.
Yeah, a couple interaction mistakes there by Hazard early on just kind of kept him in a very rough position. And of course, that Goblin Giant Sparky deck with the Lumberjack is just, I feel like I can play at CR with it, but I know it's much harder than they make it look. So now Game 5 of King of the Hill is upon us. And remember, one of these teams will not be going to playoffs, guaranteed, after a loss today. So a lot of dreams looking to be ruined by both squads.
Thunderstruck 4-7 in King of the Hill, 7-11 overall in head-to-head play this season.
That's a store.
What kind of store? What do they sell?
What don't they sell? Nice zap
Furniture.
coming in. That
Dark Prince does connect.
Yeah, big time connection there with the Dark Prince. He was on top of the Flying Machine trying to mount a push here.
And those barbs will do a great job of getting value against the Battle Ram and the Ewiz. And look at that, the Giant Snowball doesn't get all of the minions into range of the Princess Tower, but does a good job.
Yeah, almost getting them all in, which would have demanded even more of a response out of Baron to take care of those Barbarians. So very, very close to a 200 IQ play, as my partner has coined the term.
Thunderstruck up by 2 Elixir.
Decides to go with a P.E.K.K.A. up high, the Misfits representative.
And here we go, Lava Hound.
Yeah, Lava Hound against P.E.K.K.A. Who will come out on top? Barbarians are not in cycle yet. There they are.
Just at the last very second. I don't know if they will be enough, though. That P.E.K.K.A.'s going to get away.
Yeah, P.E.K.K.A. away, Dark Prince away, and Battle Ram away. Just ignore the Lava Hound all on its own. It does not do enough. And Thunderstruck off to a terrible start.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. None of that went his way.
So what looked like it could be a quick 2 sets up and down for Energy. Baron keeping Misfits' hope alive.
And a Bandit Dash as well, so all going the wrong way for Thunderstruck in this 5th game.
Thunder opting to switch lanes, which he needs to do, going into his weaker tower. And now Baron overloads in the middle. That zap on those bats has happened every single time that they've been played. Now, I don't expect him to do much different, but maybe just sparing up his defense or using those bats in a different way would benefit Thunderstruck.
If this is a clone deck, which it's feeling like, it's going to be very unlikely that Baron has that zap back in time for the clone.
And look at that Lumberjack on the bottom right tower. Barbarians are cleaned up by that Dark Prince. And if there is a clone, it will not be coming down right now.
Yeah, Poison down, but Flying Machine in.
Oh, wow. Flying Machine and Baby Dragon. There's the clone late. Oh, so very close.
Great E-Wiz by Baron. Played that perfectly, knew the clone was coming in. You see the amount of damage he took in both lanes, but he knew what he could take and where his priorities needed to lie and defended that beautifully. So we know who's coming out for Energy. Obviously, it has to be Thunderstruck, although this is the kind of situation where you really see the pain of only having this number of players, because Hazard, of course, he probably would already be in 2v2 no matter what, but he played so well and can't move on into the 1v1.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, just a crippled roster. There's no way around it. Everyone knows to game against Thunderstruck if you're playing against Energy. So now will it be Baron or Trainer Chris? And with the crutches, it could be...
There
it is.
Oh, it's Baron.
It is Baron.
Wow, I am thoroughly shocked.
And so is he. I don't know if he knows where he is right now.
Baron versus Thunderstruck, 1v1. Let's go. Is it a potential 3 games, maybe even 4 if there's a draw?
Yep.
To decide whether or not which one of these 2 teams will keep their hopes alive. And Thunderstruck pulls out the most OP emote in all of Clash Royale.
Yeah, we're not sure who is going to win this set, but I gotta say, we both feel like winners up here in the booth. We got a smile out of Baron.
That's true. That's a big accomplishment.
Big accomplishment up here for us. 7K plays.
Baron frustrated about something there.
Dark Prince comes down, soaks up that Prince charge. Now a big push coming in. And a very nice lightning.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of value. So both players slowing down.
Looking at like, oh, sorry, I was going to say like an 11 for 6 trade there.
Thunderstruck ahead by about half an elixir. Mega Minion meeting Baby Dragon, meeting Baby Dragon.
Thunderstruck leaking a few elixirs, same with Baron. Thunderstruck looking like he could be running. It's a Golem deck that has all those cards in it, but there's a lot of deck that has all those cards in it.
Welcome to June 2019.
Yeah, and there is a Goblin Giant coming down.
Goblin Giant double Prince, maybe.
Yeah.
That has been popular lately, currently with a negative win rate overall.
A big-time Prince charge behind that, and now the Prince tanking for those Spear Goblins. A big-time connection for Thunderstruck.
Okay, and now heading to double elixir time. Thunderstruck has to be feeling really good with both towers completely untouched at this stage.
Yeah, so, you know, in the last game at King of the Hill, you saw Baron out to an early lead, and now Thunderstruck responding with his own.
Baron does come out with the Golem now that we've hit double elixir time, but it's going to be a hard lift to get back into contention, even with this big, heavy beatdown deck.
Yeah, Dark Prince behind, hopefully being able to push that Golem in front of the Mega Minion, although Mega Minions do meet at the river.
Lightning takes off the Dark Prince shield, so maybe a bit of a premature Lightning from Thunderstruck.
Yeah, now a lot raged up and on the tower very soon. Lightning down.
Thunderstruck, though, feeling pretty good at this stage.
Yeah, that was a very clean defense for how much he had coming at him.
And he just goes Goblin Giant opposite lane immediately going, look, you can try to go for my tower, but I'm going to put the pressure on.
Yeah, and Baron knows that is going to be it for game number 1. So the Misfits representative falling early by a bit of a mistake or an overcommit. Thunderstruck bouncing back from that rough King of the Hill game.
Yeah, very, very nice recovery for the Scotsman, and now he is 1 win away from giving Misfits their 3rd victory on the season. Well played first game for Thunderstruck. Baron needed to get one back, and I think I just said there that Thunderstruck could secure a win for Misfits. I mean, technically he could do that.
He definitely could.
It would take 2 games, though.
Thunderstruck is 1-2 in 1v1 sets. This is actually Baron's 2nd appearance, falling in his first 1v1 setup, going 1-2.
And there's some times when you can look at the first card and it annoys you, and Baron sees those Spear Goblins and kind of nods, goes, grimaced a bit, knows he's most likely up against that minor Prince deck, and here you go.
And the reason for that frustration is because he's running double Prince with most likely a regular Giant. Could be a Goblin Giant as well. We have seen that before.
And Miner goes in opposite lane. Spear Goblins behind for a cheap push. And Baron's forced to make a choice, takes care of the Spear Goblins, and Bats come right behind.
Wow, I like that. Very, very aggressive. Bar Barrel now not needed to pay attention to. And that Goblin Giant will go down with that Inferno Tower. So very nice set of interactions for Thunderstruck.
Although eats more than he expected and is now behind by about 2 elixir or elixir and a half.
Yeah, that Mega Minion doing just a little bit more tankage than I think Thunder expected, allowing that Goblin Giant to get in much deeper than planned.
Thunderstruck is currently 3-0 with this deck, so you gotta wonder if Misfits expected this to come out.
So Prince meets Dark Prince. Dark Prince will turn around.
Thunder takes a slight lead as we move into double elixir time.
And all of a sudden, we have a 13 elixir push coming down the lane for Baron.
Late Inferno Tower does its job.
You have the Barbarian there tanking for the Spear Goblins. Now the Mega Minion tanking for the Spear Goblins. Spear Goblins on the tower.
It seems like everyone's tanking for those Spear Goblins, Andrew.
So about 180, 75 HP lead, whatever the math is.
It's a lead.
It's a lead.
Of numbers.
And Baron has it.
Goblin Giant into the right lane now. Baby Dragon gets a couple belches, and this has been the story of this game so far. That Baby Dragon seems to get at least a little bit on that tower almost every single time.
And Thunder misses the pull with the Inferno Tower. Then the Lightning comes down. Spear Goblins on tower, 11:43 remaining.
And Prince played just enough outside to avoid the splash damage. Thunder's been a little cavalier with his bats so far.
Yeah, and Baron is not happy that he just spent his snowball on those bats. It did feel like a bit of a waste.
So Miner should be coming in, and you see Mega Minion goes to the back. Baby Dragon picks him up on the front.
And now with that snowball out of cycle, that is exactly what has to happen. The Baby Dragon has to come down as opposed to an even trade.
And this time the bats survive well, do not get eaten by the Baby Dragon.
A Bar Barrel to maybe try to bait something out of Baron, but Baron does not bite.
Not at all, instead gets nice lightning value.
And that's 2 elixir wasted, allowing that lightning to come down without hesitation.
2 minutes left. Remember, we can draw in this game. We are not in single tower rules.
So Baron mounting another Goblin Giant from the back.
Very nice kite with the bar barrel on that Baby Dragon.
Maybe I was gonna say maybe a High Prince to pull that, or Dark Prince to pull the Prince in the opposite lane, but decides to just go head on.
Oh, look at this, Miner to the back. Bats come in, force a snowball out.
Very, very close to being a huge blow. These two separated just by 28 HP on the left-hand side, but Baron's still in the lead. If you look at the top right-hand tower, now below 1,000.
It feels like Thunderstruck is playing this as though it's lowest single with those little bar barrel pushes.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he's trying to get out of those. I understand like trying to distract or bait, but Baron hasn't bit many times.
Prince picks up the Dark Prince.
And should get aggroed on to the Gob Giant. But that Baby Dragon in on the tower, 2 belches in. Now a lightning comes down and just a couple snowballs away.
That Baby Dragon has been the bane of Thunderstruck's existence this entire game. The total MVP.
Miner in on the tower. Barbarian not there to connect, so just need another lightning.
Gets the poison down. Trying to go for the lightning block is Thunderstruck. Does he have the Spear Goblins to pick this one up as well? Spear Goblins behind.
Ooh! And Baron goes for the low lightning, juking Thunderstruck, who almost blocked twice.
This should be the final game of this match, but again, we could draw and go to a game 4.
Yeah, that was a very, very close finish. You saw Thunder going for the double lightning block. Baron played his lightning low, so the Spear Goblins were out of range, as were the bats, but a very, very great idea by Thunderstruck. Baron just barely coming out with the win.
So I gotta wonder what these guys are picking for their final deck.
And so far, we're looking at a mirror matchup. That emote is hilarious.
It actually is really great. So the same 4 first cards, and a lot of people looking forward to the giant snowball getting changed that might switch up some of the support meta, and the same first 5 cards.
I thought you were going to say a lot of people looking forward to the giant snowball emote, because it could be the one maybe even less exciting than the Inferno Tower.
You know what? I cannot wait for it. You've now convinced me the giant snowball emote will be the best one.
So very similar cards so far. Is it a mirror matchup? We don't know quite yet.
It would be surprising if they were both playing Goblin Giant Double Prince.
It sure would.
But anything could happen.
So Baron and Thunder both playing very, very conservatively for this first minute. Or for this first couple minutes, excuse me. As we get close to double elixir time, that's when we're going to start to see things going crazy. Now a Dark Prince comes down for Baron as well.
Yeah, you don't wonder if Baron or if Thunderstruck has made any adjustments to the way he's going to play in relationship to the baby dragon, which was such a problem for him. And they are both playing Goblin Giant Double Prince.
So a mirror matchup, one of the few mirror matchups that we've had this season.
A full true mirror.
True mirror. Prince meets Prince on the right-hand lane after the Prince pops the Barbarian. Goblin Giant getting through to the tower will get a hit in. So as of right now, Baron on top.
You know, Andrew, whenever I experience a mirror matchup, it feels like you're in elementary school and you go to class and someone else is wearing the same Halloween costume.
And they just ruin your day.
Your whole day is gone. You're like, I was the Velociraptor. Why are you a Velociraptor? Oh, I was a Velociraptor in 3rd grade. 15 seconds left in regulation, heading into sudden death, and at the moment, Baron taking the lead in this mirror match.
So Prince is beating on both sides of the river, both sides of the map. And this game is drawable, so lowest single tower not in play, which is always very interesting when you do have a mirror match.
Baron's doing a good job of breaking through so far.
Baron leaking almost twice as much elixir as Thunder, but still has the damage lead.
Just seeing the exact same thing. It's almost like we work together a lot, Andy.
You know, it must be. Mega Minion on top of Mega Minion. Prince comes in, lightning down.
And that's the first lightning play. Does not quite do as much as Thunder probably wanted to now.
Yeah.
He has pretty much nothing in the tank to defend against this.
Yeah, this is a massive push coming in. Baron looking like he's looking to close the door.
Boy.
That is it. Good game. Lightning down in the mirror matchup.
Baron seals the victory. No 4th game needed.
He comes in at the end of King of the Hill and clutches out. He starts off the 1v1 set rough, and that's being nice. But he closes it out in fashion. Misfits eliminates Energy from playoff contention.
And both a reverse sweep for Baron in 1v1 and a reverse sweep for Misfits overall in the match, giving them their 3rd victory, a very important 3rd victory. And keeps them alive at this stage of the season.
And despite how well these 3 gentlemen have played for Energy, it's hard to blame it on them and not the roster. With just 3 players on a team, you were never making your opponent guess. And that is one of the biggest advantages you can have at CRL West.
Baron taking his congratulations, put together a really solid showing today, and of course be able to take a victory out. Whenever you play a mirror match, it can get so frustrating.
Yes.
You know, you don't feel like there's a place to take advantage. It purely comes down to who knows the mirror match better and who outplays those small interactions.
And that's something that I really hope we get to hear about on the floor with Seltzer, talking to Baron about how he found the matchup advantage in that game, where he found the weaknesses in Thunderstruck's offense, defense. And you know what? I couldn't be happier for Misfits and Baron today. That was an absolutely astounding showing and a great comeback.
Yeah, an absolutely beautiful comeback. And after that 2v2 set, it really felt like they were in a whole lot of trouble, but you can't forget the quality of head-to-head play that's always been there with these guys. So let's go down to the floor where Rachel is standing by with Baron.
Thank you, guys. You know I had to talk to Baron after that match. You did a great job against Thunderstruck, taking him out in the King of the Hill, and then you had to go up against him in the 1v1. Energy, of course, only fronting 3 players. So were you able to prepare ahead of time, and what did that preparation look like?
Yeah, obviously we knew they only had 3 players, so we knew who was going to play in the 1v1. So that made it easier for us, for sure. And yeah, I just prepared like always, playing some matchups that I thought I was going to be facing, so yeah, that worked out.
Now, you obviously had some expectations going into the match. In Game 2 of the 1v1 against Thunderstruck, the first card he played was Spear Goblins, and you had a bit of a look come over your face. Do you want to talk me through what you were feeling in that moment?
I think it looked like I was surprised, or no, I wasn't happy about it, but actually I think I was, because I got a good matchup. Yeah, I realized he was playing Minor Poison there, so I was happy.
That did work out well for you. But watching the cards play in the third match, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the first cards out were perfect mirrors. Turns out you were playing an exact mirror match. But still, even though you were leaking more elixir, you had the damage lead earlier on, and you were able to pull out the victory. What did you notice about Thunderstruck, the way he played that match, that let you take the win?
So I was basically just waiting for him to make a mistake or anything I can, I don't know, get an advantage from. So he kept playing Princess in the back, and I responded with the opposing Prince most of the time because it gave me a good advantage.
Yeah, I would say as an opponent, you were able to figure Thunderstruck out. There was a brilliant moment where you had your excellent lightning placement to take the win in match 2 as well. Talk me through that one and how you were able to make that split-second decision, or was it just luck?
The lightning at the end? Well, I knew he had bats in hand, so I waited because he was gonna lightning block it, and then against Spear Goblins it's easier, so he placed them. I placed the lightning in the front, I think, and it worked out.
It did work out for you, and congratulations on that. Misfits will be continuing forward, thanks in big part to Baron. Now let's send it up to the casters to take a closer look at the matches.
A great win for Baron to close this out, and talking about some of those moments, the mirror match, waiting for his opponent to make a mistake, and he took advantage, got the victory, and a very important one for Misfits today.
Yeah, and you heard the very calculated decision in when to play the Lightning and how to play it. He saw that the bats were played high. He figured the Spear Goblins would play even farther back, so the Lightning comes in a great win for Misfits today.
So they add their third win, keep their playoff hopes alive, although it's still going to be a long stretch. They have to win out. On top of all that, they are still in the mix. But now we're going to 2 teams who are right in the center. Number 1, Complexity against Immortals in a rematch of last season's North American Finals. So an excellent matchup coming up next. Complexity versus Immortals, the rematch of our North American Finals, although this time the tables turn a bit. Right now it's Complexity on top and Immortals fighting for a way in.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it was midway through the season, or 3 quarters through. Complexity had stayed on top for a very long time, and then out of nowhere came Immortals, a surging Immortals. The same week where Complexity stumbled was the same week that Immortals kind of found their rhythm, found their stride, and ended up taking first place and the World Finals position from Complexity.
And there are some parallels here, of course, with Complexity suffering their first loss in a long time against SK Gaming.
Yeah.
They looked a little shaky, did not look like the Complexity we've seen so far this year. On the other side of that, we started off the top of our show with Immortals taking a big win, getting back in the W column. So this might be a repeat of last season, or is Complexity to get back on track and sort of shake off the demons of that midseason slump last year?
Yeah, you know, you really hope so if you're a fan of Complexity. And that man right there in the front on the left side of your screen, Vulcan, I ran into him downstairs, and he was telling me, you know, yesterday just wasn't my day, and you always got to bounce back, make a few mistakes, and that's exactly what we expect him to do. So we have Vulcan, as I just said, Air Surfer, Colton W83, Adrian Piedra, and Razzer, the all-star team that has really put the entire league on notice, sitting in first place at 7-2.
And across from them, of course, Immortals, and great showing the other day from the God RF and Crap in 2v2, kind of riding the ship. It's been an up and down season for their 2v2 pair. And then Royal, of course, stepping out yesterday in King of the Hill with 2 fantastic games. And of course, their young star, Lapa Kadi, the Mortar Master, and maybe we'll see him one more time today.
It really is a treat to watch him play his comfort deck. It's really good to see Royal back in his position, back on top. Hopefully this confidence that he gained earlier this week will help build towards the end of the season. So let's go. Rematch of last year, Complexity and Immortals.
So this is the 2v2 match that beginning of the season everyone wanted to see, and now we finally get it. Colton Razor against Crap and the God RF.
Yeah, although one of these duos has had much more success this season. However, with a win today, Immortals, Crap, and the God RF could be feeling a lot better about their season because, honestly, Colton and Razor have looked unstoppable.
Yeah, currently on, I want to say it's a 7-match win streak for their 2v2.
Yeah, which is just, the teams that they've taken down along the way have just been absolutely astounding. You have Surge TS, Morton and Sam, Diego and Buff. The list goes on and on and on.
So, Skeleton Snowball to open up from Complexity. And I am shocked by 2 baby dragons.
Is this a new card? What is this card?
The updates bringing us something we've never seen before. It's green, it flies, it spits fire.
And apparently both squads here are a big fan of that card. Baby Dragon coming down again. More of a cycle card in that moment.
So, Lava for Complexity. Runs directly into an Inferno Tower.
Oh, and look at the NATO. You can see the frustration on Colton and Razor's faces. That's okay, not the end of the world. 3 Elixir down early though, so Immortals is going to try and capitalize.
Poison comes down against the Graveyard pretty quickly.
And Dark Prince does get to tower.
That's a big swing.
And another missed spell.
Uncharacteristic missed spells, 2 of them from Colton and Razor.
Yeah, this is honestly maybe the 2 misplays they've had this season in 2v2 that have been so blatant. So now Immortals again with the freeze. Colton and Razor have a combined 4 Elixir. That is tower down.
That's tower down, and I'm going to say it right now, I'm going to call this. That's game over for this opening game.
I completely agree with you. Not only have they been demoralized, but they are at an Elixir deficit, and Crap and the God RF have the luxury of just playing stout defense. We'll see how Colton and Razor bounce back.
So they're just going double Lava at this point. No reason not to.
Inferno comes down early.
And that giant skeleton is just running straight to the tower. Guards finally do pick it up at the last second.
First Lava down, Pups in, Lightning down. And a defensive Poison clean that up very, very nicely for Immortals.
Time to reset, regroup, and shake off the jitters that have been now plaguing Complexity for 2 matches in a row at this stage.
That's a very, very strong point, and you know, maybe it is the fact of Immortals being in the head of Complexity. You never forget the team that took away a championship from you.
So there you go, game number 1 in the books. Immortals capitalizing on 5 Elixir misspent on the part of Complexity.
Crap and the God RF take game number 1.
So Crap and the God RF probably, I'm curious. I wonder if they'll run Graveyard again. It worked out well. Of course, that wasn't all they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely had the assist from the Complexity players there, but kind of with 1 in hand, maybe you have your opponent guessing that you'd switch it up, run it back. Miner in.
Okay, so changing things up this time around, picked up by the Lumberjack.
And against Complexity, Immortals, you saw earlier today, kind of going to the same spots over and over and over with their miner. They're going to have to vary it up early on and get over the King Tower activation.
All right, Inferno Dragon, very interesting. And there we go, opposite lane, Lumberjack Ram Rider push.
And the freeze is in. Lumberjack gets 3-4 hits on tower.
That Dark Prince getting a tower as well, though.
And a missed Ice Golem kite. So a lot of mental mistakes from the boys in blue that are on top of the leaderboards at the moment.
So first minute and a half or so gone, and things fairly even. Looked like Complexity had all the wrinkles ironed out, and then a missed Ice Golem pool puts Immortals right back in it.
Yeah. Complexity up by 10 HP. Miner picked up once again.
Yeah, a lot of these teams have been waiting till around 1500 to begin placing miners in different positions. So we'll see if they choose to go a little earlier this time or try to get one more shot before they start varying that placement.
Lumberjack goes unsupported with a nice poison.
Log tries to help, does not create enough room, down to 1626.
Inferno down early. Bats do not get to tank for it on the left side.
And the Lumberjack also didn't get to that Inferno tower, so pretty healthy, does its job. And there we go, Miner picked up one more time.
And with 4 or 5 Miner pickups in a row, 6, you gotta think, do the math, 6 times 64, just one hit adds up quite a bit, but that Miner does get a few swings in.
Yeah, I think this might be the stage where we start seeing them begin to vary their Miner placement.
NATO, or Freeze down.
And a second Ram Rider comes in, Lumberjack raged up.
And Ram will not connect with the help of that NATO.
Very, very smart, don't want to go under 1,000 at this stage.
So Complexity in the lead still. Miner goes to the back this time.
They broke that 15, that's that 1,500 barrier.
Magic Archer on the tower.
Nice, very, very nice work.
A quick Magic Archer, a heads-up play gives Immortals the lead. Complexity feeling the pressure.
High Inferno tower, this might be the time to try to take it out and go Ram Rider in that left-hand lane for Complexity.
Oh, they go double on the right. They're going all in on the right-hand lane. Ram Rider down. Log does not take care of the Prince first.
That's a big connection.
Yeah. Ooh, a few big-time hits in, and a defensive Miner has to come down. And NATO does not pay off, but Immortals, playing it safe, drop a NATO of their own.
Yeah, interesting. You know, that was kind of going for the exact same move we saw Razor do the other day, trying to NATO a troop behind the tower to get a Lumberjack on, and again it doesn't pay off, and again it turns around to a win for his opponent.
Yeah, big-time NATO plays there from both squads. One not really paying off for Complexity, and then you see the rocket coming in. So Immortals, a quick 2-game set sweep over Razor and Colton. First time they've fallen in 2v2 in a long time. So now as we work into the King of the Hill set, we have Adrian Piedra coming out against the God RF. Adrian was not active for their prior 2 matches, but against Misfits, he took 1 in King of the Hill and then ended up winning the match in the 1v1 over Wings.
Standing behind these fellas on the Complexity side, it'll be Colton and Vulcan. And then behind God RF, Royal, followed by Lapacati.
So you see a very nice skeleton pull there on the mortar to distract, and then an Earthquake comes down. So the mortar will get a shot.
So this is kind of a fun twist here. The God RF coming out playing Lapacati's deck, playing the mortar bait. And I like the choice here because you got to be thinking that Complexity is preparing decks for that they wouldn't show until later in the set.
Yeah, and you know, I'm sure RF, being as skilled as he is with a coach now in Lapacati for Mortar, should see some very interesting gameplay. Miner does a great amount of work.
Adrian Piedra has not played Hog EQ yet this season. He might be one of maybe 4 people who hasn't done it.
And both of these guys are even in their King of the Hill sets. We got RF at 6-6, and then Adrian Piedra at 3-3.
Very well played so far by RF. Put out an early high mortar and then So now is switched over to using it defensively against the Hog Rider.
Yeah, should be looking to compile pushes with any sort of Goblin and the Miner. Defensive Miner does come down. Hog Rider will get a swing. Oh,
No.
does not.
Gets shoveled directly in the head.
Yeah, that never feels good.
So heading into double elixir time, the God RF is ahead and
Yeah.
adds a little bit more to it with that Miner swing.
Yeah, so a Miner that looked like it was only going to be defensive does get one hit in, so still a win in the eyes of Immortals.
And High Mortar this time, if it can survive, might be able to do some extra damage.
Yeah, I love the High Mortar play against Hog Rider. Creates a lot of pressure on the Princess Tower, makes your opponent have to spend Elixir on distracting it again, and then you just don't have as much in the end there, so you see the Miner going straight to tower.
Mortar, though, not going to get around. Giant Snowball helping, and Hog does get one hit.
Miner to the back. Nope, to the safe spot.
And great timing with the archers going to the inside.
And finally, we see the Minion Horde come down. Hog Rider will get taken out. Minion Horde very, very healthy as Earthquake does not injure it.
Miner does not go to the archers, goes to the back.
That's some great value on the Snowball there. So now RF feeling a bit of pressure down to 400 HP. 400 HP lead.
And that's not an insignificant investment he's doing now, getting the Mortar and Minion Horde combination on defense for those Hog Riders.
Yeah, it's a 9 Elixir investment, and it's starting to really add up for him. And now you see not having enough for the Mortar. Hog does still get a shot. Gets two
shots.
That is a big, big time connection for Adrian Piedra.
So now the pressure is on for RF, and you can see him loading up, throwing the Minion Horde high and the Miner to the back.
You see him really feeling the pressure, going all in on a 9 Elixir push. Hog Rider in, 5 Elixir in hand to defend, and that Goblin Gang goes right to the EQ.
And now down to 285, so RF's tower in significant trouble.
RF goes inside this time. Picked up by the Ice Golem. 4 Elixir.
High Mortar again, hoping to turn that into some offense. Not going to be the case. Hog Rider EQ takes care of it. Although it's a great job, it also keeps the Earthquake off his tower from helping with spell cycle purposes.
325 HP. Miner to the skeleton.
Beautiful
Snowball comes in. We'll get one more hit with that Miner. 141, 285. 2 more hits, excuse me.
This is razor thin. 90 seconds left in overtime. EQ cycle for Adrian Piedra.
Snowball in.
Miner to the back. Picked up. Giant Snowball comes through. The God RF does it with just 46 HP left on his tower.
So clean, so patient. He adjusted throughout, and now you see RF taking down Adrian Piedra with, as my good friend Rich just said, La Picati's deck.
So coming up next for Complexity, a guy we don't see a lot in head-to-head play, Colton making just his 3rd appearance in King of the Hill.
Yeah, and still looking for that first head-to-head victory. He fell before to Oxlet and Trainer Chris.
So might be the same deck again for RF, although he could be throwing a juke. And Hunter comes out for Colton.
Yep.
We've seen him run Graveyard and Lava so far this season.
Nice use of those skellies to preserve the health of the Mega Minion. And we see exactly what we expect when we see a Hunter.
So interesting going with the Hunter and the Lumberjack behind the Goblin Giant. Usually the variations go one way or the other. And RF, I was about to say, Royal Giant Miner. Ice Wiz seems so directly tied to Royal Giant right now.
Yeah, that is a lot of Sparky value coming in and a decent counter push.
This version of Goblin Giant Sparky has seen 3 plays so far this season at a 33% win rate.
So everything down, Barbarian healthy. Nice defense by RF.
"90 seconds gone, and both players taking a moment to slow down. A cycle snowball from Colton. And RF, of course, not worried about the NATO, so varying up that miner placement early.
Yep. Down to 1580 is Colton's left-hand tower. Lumberjack will get picked up by a NATO.
And right to King Tower activation. You had to see that one coming.
Nice +1 trade for RF. He's going to need that elixir to deal with this push coming in as we hit double elixir.
So Goblin Giant, Sparky together, Bar Barrel behind to take one shot off. And a nice NATO fireball.
Yeah, and then high Ice Wizard just in case the other one was too close to the Princess.
Wow.
RF not taking any chances.
Really clean defense on that push.
Lumberjack going to go down early.
And trying
Hunter going to go down as well. That Mega Minion had a heat-seeking missile on him.
Fireball behind, RF a little bit low. He's going to probably throw, Bar Barrel comes down, Skeleton's not available.
Bar Barrel does
connection.
not hit the Sparky, and now with only 4 elixir in hand, he needs to get the NATO or Fireball. Look at that.
Wow, that was very close, but not quite enough. Colton now in the lead as we head into sudden death.
So RF working directly into all of Colton's pushes, and that's the difficulty with Royal Giant when you find yourself in this position, costing 6 elixir as a win condition. It's very tough not to have to play it in the same lane when you need to play defense against such a strong deck.
And the Sparky Hunter combination just shred that Golem, or that Royal Giant.
So Goblin Giant on its way to the tower. NATO does come in just in time.
And the Skeletons played just a little bit out of position to save that Ice Wiz.
Yeah, I was just going to say a very nice use of those Skeletons to preserve some of the elixir that Oddcrap was thirsting for and take care of that Lumberjack.
Another Goblin Giant push, no Sparky yet.
And it will not connect. Oddcrap leaking a few elixir there.
The God RF.
Or yeah, excuse me.
And really, really weird lightning. You see Colton raise his hand. Maybe he thought he was going to get the Mega Minion as well, but that is a massive amount of elixir spent for very little value.
Yeah, I think it might have been a misclick. He probably thought he dropped a different card. He needs to recover, and it might be too late at this point. You see the miner to the back of the tower, 348 left, not quite within spell range, so RF getting the fireball down right away, trying to cycle around.
Yeah, 2 fireballs, just 1 more to do it. So, and you can see some of those small cycle cards. Colton knows that's it. Fireball will come in. No need. Oh, miner comes into the front, and here we go. This should be game. RF, 2 up, 2 down, and Colton is unhappy. You got to wonder what that was with the lightning. So the only person standing between Complexity going in a straight 5-game sweep and their second straight loss is Vulcan.
Yeah, and you know, Vulcan had a little bit of trouble yesterday. He struggled a bit with his Inferno Tower placement, and he told me there was one point where he thought Sergio Ramos's Hog was dead, and it was actually on his tower. So looking to bounce back from those mental mistakes.
Vulcan needs a straight 3-game sweep. Of course, he's more than capable of doing it, having done 3 of those already this season. And that Hog did die.
And he's coming out. We'll see if he does end up running the EQ version, as he's the one that made it popular. There we go.
And there it is, Mortar Pigs, EQ to finish off, and nice big push to open up.
Yeah, very well played there. RF taking about 600 damage.
And of course, Hog EQ opposite direction, and this will also get on tower, and Snowball played a little bit late.
Yeah, and we get 2 big Hog swings in, so RF back on top, but just by a little bit.
You really have to lead with that giant Snowball to make sure you're getting right in front to make sure it pushes out.
Yeah, it wasn't so much the timing, but as you said, the placement of where it went.
RF ahead by 2 Elixir. Hog Rider comes in one more time.
And just enough for the EQ once again. There's the snowball trying to get it away.
You know, I haven't played this Hog EQ Mortar matchup, but I'm wondering if they're, with that Mortar pulling, if there's a giant snowball to King Tower possibility there. I don't know if that's physically available.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure either. It looked like Vulcan might have been trying to go for it the first time. You saw the Hog kind of bounce towards the King, but that's a lot of ground to cover. Maybe something to ask the pros about later on.
Yeah, if that Hog pushes in on the Rascal Boy potentially.
So now a very nice split lane push here coming from Vulcan. EQ comes down, a lot to deal with in the right.
Inferno Tower picks up well, and the Hogs do get a couple shots. Nice giant snowball in, but doesn't make quite enough room. Down by just a couple dozen HP is Vulcan as we get closer to sudden death.
And we go with the high mortar this time. The Inferno, though, doing double duty, picking up the mortar aggro as well as the Hogs. Hog Rider to the tower, gets a swing.
Skeletons do not finish it off in time, but still Vulcan takes the lead now with RF's right-hand tower down to 1033.
Yeah, a big time back and forth battle between these two. And there you go, you see the EQ and not hitting the Princess.
Yeah. So another Royal Hog push, and this time the high Inferno does not get touched by the Earthquake.
Defensive
And
mortar comes down.
Vulcan raises, like, Vulcan kind of looks at that and goes, what the heck? I'm wondering if that was another misclick.
Yeah, that does not seem like a very Vulcan or high IQ type play, just setting that up for an easy EQ spell value. Hogs in, snowball in.
And one big Royal Hog shot. So even despite that mortar giving the Earthquake value, still ahead is the Complexity player with 2 minutes left in sudden death.
High Earthquake again.
So there we do see the Earthquake getting the mortar and the tower. So a little curious about how that played out against Adrian Piedra earlier in this set.
Same, it looked like there was a big missed Earthquake in the middle of that match or towards the end, but it did seem like you'd be able to hit all those units. And now you see it happening once again.
I wonder if Vulcan can still pull the Hog going one tile over.
Oh, and look at that. Vulcan takes the tower with the Royal Hog push, kind of repeating the same transactions over and over throughout that entire game, but RF slowly fell behind in damage. So Royal coming out, going up against Vulcan, two of the best in the business. Royal 5-6 in King of the Hill, looking to even up his record. And this is a match that a lot of us have been looking forward to since the announcement of CRL West.
Yeah, it's exciting to see these two guys go head-to-head. Two of the top from Season 1. Vulcan, of course, has been way up at the top in Season 2. Royal finally getting back in rhythm in their last match against Dig.
Yeah, Vulcan now 11-4 in King of the Hill. So really one of the most dominant players, if not the most dominant player in the set this season.
So both players taking their time, and whenever this happens against Royal, you're just wondering, is it Golem?
Yeah, and you can see in the bottom left-hand side of your screen what Vulcan's win condition is. He has it selected, so he's taking his time.
Oh, very interesting. I didn't notice you could see that.
Being very careful here, as hoping that no one can hear us.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's very interesting.
So we're going to see quite the matchup. Royals, on the other hand, we cannot see. It's being blocked by his thumb, but if it is Royal playing his comfort, we'll see how Vulcan pairs up.
I didn't know your eyesight was that good.
It's not. These screens are just beautiful.
Thank you, Vulcan, for the iPad. Royal, get a bigger device, please. Jeez. And Royal is over looking at
looking
Vulcan
over,
being like,
hey.
hey, come on, man, what's up?
What's up, buddy? And knowing the skill level of these two players, once we get to double Elixir, it is going to be a bloodbath.
If Royal's running what he might be running, this is going to be a very interesting double Elixir time. 5,
And in
4.
case you wanted to know, it's about 37 Elixir leaked on both sides.
Very interesting
Wow.
from Royal.
Giant Skeleton
Giant
in 1v1.
skeleton.
And he just completely ignores the Dark Prince on the left. Interesting play there by Vulcan. Vulcan going in with the Miner. Does not actually get aggroed by the Dark Prince, so not able to preserve the health of his Ice Wizard is Royal.
Wow, but that exchange worked out fairly well for Royal.
Yeah, Vulcan ignoring that Dark Prince on the left-hand side. That was one unit doing all the damage. And almost no damage coming in for Vulcan.
And Giant Skeleton does get in front of the flying machine, so very, very important timing there for Royal. Miner to the wow, and native to King Tower as well.
Very well played. Ice was going to go back, but still on the lava.
You know, that going back to that look over that Royal gave, and it's Graveyard.
Yep.
Going back to that look that Royal gave Vulcan, I wonder if he was sitting there going like, dude, I got you.
Yeah. And there you see excellent poison value coming in, hitting the Flying Machine, Princess Tower, and all of the barbs. Vulcan frustrated by that.
Ice Wiz comes down, Baby Dragon in the back, and now Royal, okay, so chooses to go all in this lane, and here we go, another Graveyard push.
And that Giant Skeleton is just so menacing when you have these squishy DPS troops in the Barbs, the Mega Minion, the Baby Dragon, the Flying Machine, all of those cleaned up very well by a Giant Skelly Bomb, so got to be very cognizant of that, and Royal feeling very good about himself at the moment.
Yeah, this is the Royal we're used to seeing. Very different than he's been to open up the season. BMs come flying.
And you know what? If that's what Royal needs to do to get back to the shape that he was in last season or at World Finals, then that is exactly what we need. So Immortals takes the 2-set sweep over Complexity. Vulcan does show a little bit of life taking down RF, but Royal closes it out once again twice today.
Wow, and you see the smirk, the smile on Royal. That's the player we know. And now with what he's done twice today, taking a look at that, I feel like it's safe to say that Royal is back in form and feeling ready for CRL West.
And let's not forget about AC and RF doing it twice in a row, and one time against Complexity, who, as you mentioned at the top of the show, has not lost in a very, very long time in that 2v2 set.
Wow, and that's the other thing to think about is the way that Complexity went down today. And between the SK loss, the shocker of an SK loss, and then today where it was just some uncharacteristic mistakes, you got to feel like this is rewriting the exact same script we saw last season.
Yeah, and if there's anything that Coach Kyle and Matt Rutledge can do to avoid that, I'm sure they're going to be doing it right now. A lot of mental mistakes by Complexity. You saw a handful in the 2v2 in both games, and then you saw the misclick Lightning in the King of the Hill. And look, when you're going up against a team in Immortals, even if they are 5-4, they will capitalize on those mistakes, and they did it tenfold.
Well, they looked like a different team today. And
yes.
You know, we can talk about Complexity all we want. Immortals looked way more confident, way more comfortable, way more loose than we've seen in the last few matches. And today, doing double duty, that's a big lift, and they pulled it off spectacularly.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see if that momentum is what they needed to move forward, or whether or not they were just like, all right, playoffs are around the corner. We need to buckle down. So very excited to hear what they have to say in the interviews. And, you know, this is a scary, scary team to be finding their rhythm right before playoffs.
And what an important time to find it, because definitely on the bubble, but with these two matches today, they suddenly put themselves right in the mix. And that's going to be a hard out for anybody when you go to that gauntlet format. So let's head down to the floor where Seltzer is standing by with Immortals coming off a big 2-day win.
Thank you, guys. A huge victory here for Immortals. I've got the God RF, and I've got Royal down here to talk about your matches. Now, the God RF, you guys destroyed in 2v2 once again. Business as usual for you?
Yeah, we practiced a lot the last week for these two matches today. And I want to give a huge shout out to AC because he had a great Magic Archer, which basically secured us the win, and he played really well today.
Excellent, and thanks for that shout out. That 2v2 support is real. Now, when you headed into King of the Hill, we saw an interesting deck from you right off the bat. The casters called it. You're playing Lapucati's deck. Tell me about the mind games here.
So it's a deck I've never played in CRL before, so we knew it would be a good surprise factor. And also, thanks to Lapucati as well, because he's the one that taught me. He taught me a lot this past week, and it really showed off, and it helped me a lot.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about what it's like when you sit down with Lapucati and you're going over this deck that he's used to playing. What is he imparting to you knowledge-wise, and what does the studying actually look like? You got spreadsheets, you got graphs, you got a whiteboard? Tell me.
The main way we do it is I just play, then he watches me, or I can watch his replays, which also helps a lot. And since he's played the deck for so long, he's the best with the deck, it's really helpful for him to teach me.
And teamwork coming into play here in a big way. And Royal, you cleaned it up for your team at the end of King of the Hill, going against Vulcan. You brought something that we have not seen in 1v1 in a long time. Tell me about the Giant Skelly choice.
Yeah, so it's a deck that Luis gave to me a few days ago. He said it's so good, and then I practiced a few matchups, and I didn't lose any of them. And then he said you have to go with it.
And that's a deck that you were giving us all a heart attack. You're waiting until double elixir. You're both leaking there. I want to know what's going through your mind, because you were one fraction of an elixir faster than your opponent.
Yeah, I don't really like to leak that elixir because like when the single elixir changes to double elixir, I always like to place the troop right before.
Well, you definitely nailed it. You shot first there, and you both take home the victory for Immortals. It's a big one over complexity here. Let's send it up to the casters and check a look at it further.
Thanks a lot, Rachel, and the God RF mentioning that Magic Archer play that was crap in the moment, and you caught that, and that was the big swing in that 2v2 game.
Yeah, I mean, 400 or 500 damage out of nowhere just all of a sudden puts your opponent on watch. But what we want to do right now is talk about that deck that Royal ran. It really paired up very well against Lava Hound because of all the troops staying behind the lava and the Giant Skeleton working its way down. So, Rich, this is a deck we've never seen before.
Yeah, Giant Skeleton really has no place in 1v1 pretty much until right now.
Yeah.
It's been a star of 2v2, but you have so much ability to support it. But here, I really love how he brings that 2v2 version with the Baby Dragon, Ice Wiz, and the Splash Yard variant behind with the NATO, and able to capitalize on a card that doesn't usually get a 1v1 shine.
Yeah, so maybe next week we'll be seeing a lot of Giant Skeleton Graveyard Splash Yard in Grand Challenges on ladder. Who knows? But thank you so much, Immortals, for showing us that deck, and we know their manager Shua is very, very happy with how his boys played today.
Yeah, that's a big one, and getting 2 matches under their belt in the win column this close to playoffs. That's invaluable at at this stage. So big win, big day for Immortals, but we are not done. Coming up next, 2 teams that also need a big win. It's Keso facing off against Liquid. An EU battle from last year moves its way into CRL West. Team Keso facing off against Liquid.
Yeah, Team Keso, Team Liquid, these are 2 of the heavy hitters in the last season of CRL. You know, Team Keso now coming off of a loss to Tribe where they found their first fall in a long time in the 2v2 set.
The interesting wrinkle here, of course, is how many players from Liquid used to be Team Keso members, and how well those coaches and managers, that big staff for Keso, knows the guys they're up against today.
And that's something that you have to expect when going up against Keso. They study just as hard or harder than most teams in the league, and then now having a huge rap sheet on the team they're playing against. Liquid has to be bringing a lot of new things to the game today.
Team Liquid, though, in great form as of late on a 3-match win streak against Fnatic, Energy, and Cream. So they are feeling the mojo at this moment. And then, of course, as you just mentioned, Team Keso taking an L most recently, but Azili still has been fantastic in that 2v2 set at 5-1 overall, paired with Benihoo, and of course, Kuchiku and Dark Angel have been studs in the head-to-head play.
Yeah, and on the other side of them, you have Team Liquid. Buffmac and Diego B have been more of the head-to-head players as of late. Surgical Goblin and Canario, despite being some of the most respected 1v1 players in the game, have actually found a beautiful duo in the 2v2 set that has been performing excellently as of late.
The last time out, it was all they needed was Surgical Goblin and Canario, who took the 2v2 and cleaned up in King of the Hill. So you gotta imagine Diego and Buffmac both itching to get their reps in today in a big spot against Queso.
Yeah, and a lot of people out there in the league want Queso to take this to even up the middle of the pack. Liquid and Queso, rematch of EU, coming your way.
So straight down the middle for both these squads, Benihoo and Azilius coming out for Queso, Liquid fielding Surgical Goblin and Canario once again. And with the way they've been playing together, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and you know, both these teams very, very close. A full game separating them in a sense. 4 and 5 from Queso and 5 and 4 from Liquid. So a win today for Queso would make that 6th win ever more valuable for all the other teams in the hunt.
Very true, and you see Barbarians coming out in 2v2. Don't see that very often.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point.
Very interesting, lots of big spell value there.
Yeah, able to get, exactly, a lot of spell value there with the Barbarians being played, especially if they're going to be played to defend against the Graveyard regularly.
So first play pays off for Surge and Canario. We'll see how those Barbarians fare as we go deeper in.
And Lava Hound up in the back, Baby Dragon in, but not on tower. Log has to come down to mitigate some of that skeleton damage.
It's interesting, Barbarians do have a place in the meta with Lava Hound in 1v1, so maybe trying to see if that same synergy has value in 2v2.
Nice poison coming down for Benihoo and Azilius.
And Miner directly onto the Ice Wizard, and Lava Hound going to be on tower.
So only 4 elixir in hand between the 2 players on Team Queso.
And that Baby Dragon survives, so that is massive. Look at that 1 HP Baby
Flying
Dragon.
Machine on the tower. That is going to be tower down.
And what a way to start the match for Team Queso. Defend beautifully, and then go to the opposite end and destroy a tower.
It was a slow burn that turned into a wildfire. Team Queso looked like they thought they had it under control, but Surgical and Canario did not let up. All of a sudden, Miner came in, Baby Dragon stayed alive, and the next thing you know, tower down.
And look at this, not putting the barbs down as defense for the Graveyard. Instead, using it to stop this push before it can get across and tank for those skeletons.
Yeah, the poison comes down defensively, and now with the Dark Prince charging and a freeze in, a defensive Miner must come down.
That log was really, really nice, though. It did disrupt the charges of both those Dark Princes. Very well played by Team Liquid on both ends of the arena.
Yeah, not a late log, but you hold it for just a second to let those skeletons pile up, and then, as you said, taking out the Dark Prince and the Dark Prince charge of the other. Very, very nice value on that 2 elixir log.
And again, Barbarians high to deal with the support troops and kind of cut this Graveyard push off at the knees. Double Graveyard now for Team Queso, trying to go all in and steal this. The freeze does come in. The King Tower activates, though. That is going to help a little bit.
Yeah.
Too little, too late. High fives for Surgical Goblin and Canario. Very well played in the opening game.
Yeah, you know, there's just something about these guys together. You never expected it when you looked at the roster of Team Liquid at the beginning of the season. You figured you'd save one of them for the King of the Hill, 1 for 1v1, but what do we know? What an amazing move by the coaching staff of Liquid.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be Diego B and Buffmac the entire way through. They had so much experience together, but you know, some struggles early on in the season. They switch in this powerhouse duo, and they are performing at an exceptionally high level.
So now Team Queso finding 3 losses in a row in a set that they were perfect in before. Azili's now 10-3 and Benihoo 11-7.
Very interesting turn of events. We've seen this season how quickly momentum can shift.
Yeah.
We saw that just a moment ago with Complexity, the way that they were rolling through everybody. Now 2 matches in a row, they fall. And same thing here with Team Queso. They are beating the doors off every single squad in 2v2 for 5 matches in a row. And now they've run into a couple of big time L's.
Yeah, you know, we've talked it to death. Momentum, confidence, but it's just so relevant. It would be doing a disservice not to, and you can tell exactly how important it is as we get towards the end of the season. You see some of the best teams make mistakes, and some of the other teams that we really respect kind of buckling down and getting in that playoff mode.
So big opening graveyard push for Team Keso, getting that left-hand tower down to 434 within the first minute. So a very different story this time around, and it's Golem from Liquid.
Golem in the back, Graveyard quickly going to the other side, Inferno Tower down to try to counter that. With the freeze down as well. Oh, what a great log.
Yeah, very, very well timed on the log, and they don't have a lot of elixir to support this Golem, and Keso gets a fairly easy Inferno Tower down to pull it.
Yeah, that is a very nice +3 trade. However, a perfect lightning coming in, and now a NATO to King. Well played, Team Keso.
Yeah, that worked out pretty well for Team Keso. Nice sequence, and you see that Team Liquid is kind of like, all right, you got us there. Let's get back to it.
Yeah, and Team Keso has 3 elixir on the field and a 1 elixir lead in the bank.
Notice, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and also a substantial damage lead.
Well, notice that Keso, or that Liquid is not playing double Golem. They're playing Golem and then Minor Rocket on the other side. So the real value of this King Tower activation isn't so much the Golem defense, but now that Minor is severely limited as their second option.
Yeah, and then, you know, Team Liquid would really have to be gambling if they went Minor Rocket. As you said, the King Tower being activated makes that Minor so much less threatening, you might not want to drop a troop right on top of it.
So log followed by log to deal with that push on the right-hand side. Baby Dragon has been an MVP in both games now, getting some big damage in the right lane for Keso.
I suppose we're getting a couple Frost Bolts in there as well. And this Baby Dragon will not make it for Liquid.
Nice NATO rocket. The shield, though, was still on the Dark Prince.
So not able to clear out all of the units of Team Keso, but Liquid taking a huge haymaker to the chin.
And the freeze to take care of the Musketeer and Princess Tower, but guards.
Ooh. Baby Dragon on tower again. 2 big belches with the poison. 1 skeleton hit, 499 remaining.
And a late log. That's 2 elixir thrown down the drain to try to clean that up at the end.
Lightning in, but again, the big spell hitting the shield of Dark Prince.
Still, that's valuable damage right now. If Keso does not take this tower, which looks like they might be able to. Very nice NATO poison. This graveyard doing damage. Log in, that's it.
Wow, and look at that. Team Keso bouncing right back. A little bit of stumbles along the way, but that's because of the opponents they're playing very, very well. So now with the game each in hand, Team Liquid and Team Keso going back to the drawing board. Very curious to see which decks they bring out now, having varied success in their games.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that Golem Minor combination. That King Tower activation just really, really made it struggle.
Yeah, and I love not seeing double Golem and still seeing Golem with a different support around it. It seems like the double beatdown, it just isn't working that well, at least on the ground. We've seen some success with double lava, or quite a bit actually.
So Royal Giant for Team Keso in this third and final game.
RG will get raged up by that Lumberjack, but a defensive lightning is dropped by Liquid.
First 45 seconds away. And Minor to the opposite side, RG to the left.
Yeah, Team Keso going all in on this push. Mega Minion was tanking for the RG.
And that NATO worked out very well. Lumberjack prevents a single shot in tandem.
Yeah, very nice timing. The lightning in conjunction with the Lumberjack.
And the guards get the first shot on tower. Hey there, little guys. Fireball gets a little bit of value, and Ice Wiz will finish off and doesn't get a shot on the tower, but still decent trade, knowing that Ice Wiz was going to go down to the Musketeer.
Yeah, nice use of mechanics there, pushing the Musketeer forward with the Fireball, as opposed back into the left.
So Minor, Lumberjack, Ram Rider all coming in on the left-hand side. Ram Rider will get a connection. Lumberjack does not get to tower due to the Barb Barrel.
Yeah, you saw the Ice Spirit there getting stuck on the Minor as opposed to hitting the Ram Rider.
And that Royal Giant sneaks through and does not get pulled. You see the log to retarget. very, very nice log from Liquid to get that Royal Giant over to the Inferno Tower.
They recognized the aggro was not there and that the damage would have been devastating. A very nice use of the log.
You know, a game mode that people say does not really include the micro. We've seen a lot more of that this season.
I thought you were about to talk about the all-log game mode that was a joke post a while back, but no such luck for me.
Miner to the back, and Icewiz turned the wrong way, so Miner gets a lot. Icewiz finally does turn back to it, but that's a lot of damage for Team Liquid as we approach the final 20 seconds of regulation.
Yeah, Team Liquid taking the damage lead by about 230 HP. Lightning comes down, does hit the baby.
Only gets 2 strikes out of 3.
And a fireball that misses the Musketeer. That is a poor use of 4 Elixir.
And you see guards go to the inside, Miner comes to the outside. Poison will get some decent value. Guards do go down.
So all of a sudden, Team Liquid really pulling away in this moment.
Keso just has not found a way to really get that Royal Giant through, and nice pickup, beautiful pickup. The Dark Prince dropping with its shield to support and protect that Musketeer.
Yeah, very, very well played. We may never know whether that was on purpose or an accident, but whatever it was, it paid off in full.
And that's going to be game over. Wonderful sequence to see Surge and Canario so pumped up, and that final 20 seconds was perfect 2v2 play. And this match was all about the micro in 2v2, and this was a beautiful moment getting ready for protecting the Musketeer as they did all game.
Yeah, looking for the lightning from Team Queso. Liquid drops that Dark Prince right in the pocket, absorbing the lightning shot with the shield and preserving the health of that Musketeer. That one Musketeer goes on to help take down a Baby Dragon and then the game.
So a great 2v2 performance by Liquid. Very heads-up play, and now they head into King of the Hill with the advantage. Canario up first for Liquid, followed by Surgical Goblin and Buffmac, and across from them, Kuchiku, Dark Angel, and Azealis.
Yeah, and Canario and Surge looking to repeat that 2-man match victory they had in their last showing against Cream. Canario took out Codigo and Luke Dubs in King of the Hill. Surge came in and took out Lindsay to close things off.
Bit of an early low-value lightning from Canario.
Yeah, and a pretty aggressive play by him. Bar Barrel in to take care of the Furnace. Kuchiku opting to build a big push.
This is, I mean, it's a good moment to do it. Your opponent just played the best way to wipe out supporting troops, and now you're ahead on Elixir.
Ewiz comes down to stop the second charge of the Prince. Does get there just in time.
So now Canario saving up maybe to throw down the lightning again, but would not be advisable at this stage, and it is not.
Goes with the Baby Dragon Bar Barrel defense.
So Canario defends well, but takes some damage and is still behind on Elixir.
Yeah, and that does end up costing the same as Lightning, but now the Lightning is available if he wants to go Princess Furnace, but also not advised.
And Bar Barrel does not quite get the Prince to go all the way over to the Inferno Tower, so that's going to be a couple of big shots. Nice retarget at the last second there to turn that Prince towards the Fire Spirits.
Dark Prince coming in again. Will not get a charge.
The Furnace just a little bit low and a little bit over to be pulling those troops from the bridge.
Mega Minion gets 2 swipes in, so actually more damage. Well, never mind. Fire Spirits evening things out for Kuchi.
Goblin Giant double Prince.
And that Royal Giant is going to have a great time on that tower. Lumberjack to the right gets 3 swings as well.
Yeah, things really going Kuchiku's way at this point.
Does feel like Canario has spread himself too thin.
So now Canario is ahead on Elixir, but behind on tower damage.
Starting a Prince in the back, looking to meet that Royal Giant that he's expecting Kuchi to play. And now Kuchi opting to play defense.
And that's a very, very nice lightning from Canario.
That's huge, Rich. That is it. That's going to be towered down.
Wow, beautiful
the last
play.
Second E-Wiz, but 448. 123 remains. Lightning is all it will take. Kuchi in a lot of trouble.
It totally looked like Kuchiku had this thing sewn up. That early lightning from Canario, a bit of an overinvestment, but then played beautifully. And we've said this before about Canario. There is no one better at making adjustments and recoveries than the man on that right-hand tower.
I mean, that lightning coming down at that time with the Giant and the Prince was not a mistake. He knew there was nothing else in the hand of Kuchi to meet that Prince, to stop the Giant, and that was a very quick turn of events. So just an incredible display of patience from Canario. We both talked a lot about that early lightning and how he was kind of playing from behind, thirsting for Elixir a lot, and then in one interaction, the tables turned so rapidly, Kuchiku had no way to respond.
Well, he took advantage of the difficulty in the matchup for Kuchiku, going with the Lumberjack version rather than the guards, unable to really deal with those Princes.
And Canario clearly having a lock on the cycle of Kuchi, but now Dark Angel up. Furnace down, along with a Mega and an E-Wiz.
Mega Knight just jumps right to the E-Wiz, so even though it's not going to result in a ton of damage, Dark Angel does come out on the back end of that, taking damage and being down on Elixir.
Yeah, more of a blow to the confidence than anything. He did recover quite well, but Canario was able to go very aggressive and still have the lead in Elixir, as you said.
And look at this, Dark Angel might be going Royal Giant and has gone over to the guards version.
Yeah. So Furnace does come down. Bandit does not get a dash in. A nice reset and stun by the E-Wiz.
You know, I'm wondering if Team Keso or Dark Angel in particular were expecting Canario to run back the same deck, but you know, so many people do after they have success one time out, but Canario is not someone who does that. He has a extremely varied deck pool and doesn't often go back to back.
Yeah, and he also is one of the highest IQ players in the game. So he's like, you know what you can't guess is if I just go to something completely new. So Mega Knight at the river getting very aggressive as he sees the RG played in the back by Dark Angel, and Dark Angel has nothing on the ground to meet that Mega Knight.
Yeah, a single Elixir Royal Giant behind King Tower, and that's exactly the response that Canario wants to do.
Yeah, so now going to have to deal with dual lane pressure and a lot of it.
And Canario, though, very short on Elixir.
Yeah.
2 for this Giant Snowball are a pretty cheap response to avoid a lot more damage than there could have been, but that Royal Giant did take a huge chunk out of the right-hand side.
Yeah, he did a great job in his decision-making there in the way that he played defense, opting to save the tower and take damage on both sides. But definitely a sticky situation.
Yeah, this is gonna be a little tough defensively for Canario. He got that early lead, but while this one works out, that's a big spend in order to stop that push.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Canario just needs to go Ram Rider on defense to slow and stun the Royal Giant moving forward. Obviously, one more connection would be ideal for him, but he does have Snowball and Earthquake. And in this moment, you see, again, not having the Ram Rider, there's nothing to slow down or stop this RG.
Yeah, that's going to be probably one more shot. No, so down to 578. Dark Angel takes the lead, and the Bar Barrel turning that Mega Knight back around. Furnace doing its job as well.
Ooh, but the High Furnace not there to catch the Ram Rider. Now, Ram Rider should make it
Oh my gosh, the Bandit got away with a dash. Earthquake, and Canario does it again.
Yeah, Canario just being dialed in, and that's one of the things I had to speak with him about last season, not really knowing who he was at the beginning of the season and watching him grow and perform throughout. And, you know, at the time his coach just told me he is unflappable, he is untiltable in the game. He doesn't think about anything. Sets, games, matches, standings. He thinks about what his opponent is running, their cycle, and their elixir, and that is it.
Yeah, he keeps the game directly in front of him. Miner and Tombstone to open up.
Dare I say the Kawhi Leonard of CRL.
Ooh.
I like that. I'm proud of myself.
That's
for
a
that
reference. So Azili's looking to stop the bleeding for Team Queso. Giant, most likely double Prince.
Flying Machine dropped in the back, always a fun card to have in your hands. So Azili's going, I do not want to deal with that. Fireball in immediately.
Good value, looking more and more like Lava Miner.
And there is the Fireball bait aspect of the barbs coming down next.
And Tombstone again.
Zap comes in to stop the charge. So not a lot of options to pick up the miner in Canario's deck. Most likely running Lava Hound.
Yeah, that is the one wrinkle for him, is that, as you said, not many options, and the Barbarians, you really don't want to use them for that purpose if you don't have to.
Yeah, and especially because you know Azili's has Fireball. That is just way too much value to give. You're okay to maybe bait out a Fireball on the Flying Machine and Princess, but losing the Barbs and giving Princess Tower value is just too much. So Fireball comes down, a very, very nice Fireball from Azili's, and this is probably the moment where we're going to start to see Canario try to make his first Lava Hound push.
It was a nice late placement on the Barbs from Canario, not giving the value at the Flying Machine as well, but also in that moment able to take care of the E-Wiz and the Dark Prince.
And there is the Lava Hound coming down to protect the Mega Minion. I really like that play.
And that's a nice Fireball.
Another great Fireball from Azili's. And you see this, a second Mega Minion comes down to take care of Canario's, and now Canario in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that was a big sequence all the way around for Azili's. Now with 18 seconds left in regulation time, he is in a good spot to take this one.
There's just not enough response on the ground for Canario in this matchup. Dark Prince, not quite there. Fireball value walking away.
And I think we might end up seeing Canario. He's just saying good game at this point.
He knows. Azili's has that minor cycle. There's just not a lot of ways to break through.
And Miner gets to the back.
Prince
that
on
Prince
its
is
way.
hit.
That's it right there. Canario, despite looking untouchable, excuse me, in those first couple games, Azili's bounces back for Team Keso, keeping them alive.
So Surgical Goblin up next for Azili's, who needs to go for the full reverse sweep to keep Team Keso in this one.
Yeah, and he's gotten very close to it a couple times, but never completed the full sweep. Surgical Goblin in the same boat, except for he did pull it off in his very first showing against Dignitas. Since then, not having quite as much success. Overall 4-4 in King of the Hill.
Liquid just needs one more win in this set to close out the match and continue to extend their winning record.
5-4 for Surge, excuse me.
And Flying Machine from Surgical Goblin.
Flying Machine bats Baby Dragon.
It's feeling a little lava-y from Surge at the moment.
And that Bandit will get a dash.
There you go. And yes, it does get off.
So a big Mama P.E.K.K.A. going in the same lane as the Lava Hound, supported by the Ram Rider.
And Ram Rider's going to push that P.E.K.K.A. forward, a little increased pace.
Yeah, demanding a quicker response out of Surge.
And Ram Rider sneaks through.
Wow, look at that. Mama P.E.K.K.A. very healthy, poisoned down to take care of those barbs. I do not think Surge was expecting that. Should get at least one hit, maybe two. There we go. 82 HP remains.
Well, that's one tower in the pocket for Azili's, so now doesn't have to worry about that. Surgical clones up.
Yeah, very nice clone. An even better E-Wiz. Surge knows that was probably the nail in the coffin, and now these ex-teammates just duking it out, but Azili's on top and in a commanding lead.
That is an interesting story to remind everyone of, that Azili's was part of the Team Liquid, the original super team last season. Not there this year, a late addition to Keso.
Yeah, that was a big surprise to a lot of people, including myself.
So Surge going lava and getting ready for another big lava clone push on the right-hand side, and Azili's just loading up on the left.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised by that.
Well, he has the poison, he has the baby dragon, he has the E-Wiz, and he has the snowball. So maybe he's thinking, hey, I can defend against the late clone and go ahead and take the other tower.
Yeah, so the P.E.K.K.A is still tanking for the Ram Rider. However, yeah, that was honestly, in my opinion, a huge mistake. I think maybe you do have the P.E.K.K.A go left lane unsupported, and then you play defense on the right, but not a lot of air responses in Azili's deck. But, you know, a defensive poison, a snowball, E-Wiz could have done it.
So now it's all going to happen on the left-hand side. Azili's
See that?
looked like he had it all sewn up for going to game number 5, now in a little bit more trouble.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in a decent amount of trouble, because that P.E.K.K.A and Ram Rider connection is just not happening again.
And Surge is back up to another Lava Hound.
Gonna ignore that Barbarian, let it get its swing in, and try to mount another big push.
And that's a very important shot from the Flying Machine.
So Azili's needs to be very careful with his 2 spells as well as his E-Wiz and how he protects them. E-Wiz going on the inside is now going to be susceptible to getting picked off by that Flying Machine. And now the Barb's coming in.
Barb's Lumberjack in the pocket.
This is a huge assault, a bit of a miss on the clone, but does get the lava.
Lava Pups do pop. Lumberjack is still healthy.
Baby Dragon's in.
That should be it. Baby Dragon on tower.
And Surge just with the comeback of the year. Flying Machine in the pocket. Tower down. Team Queso down.
And that is a big win for Liquid, putting it together. That's now 4 in a row for a team that partway through the season looked like it was going to be the similar worries and woes of Season 1, and now they are playing and looking like the squad everyone expected to see.
I mean, they had 2 wins in their first 6 matches with a 3-match losing streak right in the thick of it. And now Surgical Goblin and Canario, they say you don't need to play 1v1. We'll win 2 matches in a row by ourselves. 2v2, King of the Hill, boom. Team Liquid back on top and in everyone's rearview mirror.
Yeah, that is just a massive turnaround for this squad, and the expectations were so high. I know that as an organization, Team Liquid expects one result, and that is victory.
Yes.
So you have to imagine that after that 2-6 or 2-4 start, they were feeling the pressure, but they responded perfectly. The adjustment to put Surgical and Canario together in 2v2 has paid off dividends. Now it's 4 in a row for Team Liquid.
Yeah, you know, and the thing with Liquid last year was it was a tough thing for them to kind of control all the massive personalities. Not that any of them had a bad attitude, but there's just so many star players. You need to figure out exactly where to place them. Putting 2 of the best head-to-head players in the world in 2v2 set was something no one saw coming. And now, as you said, the Yankees of CRL, Team Liquid, really, really coming to the top of the standings.
And the play today was just beautiful. The 2v2, managing small interactions, and the head-to-head play, the come-from-behind work by Canario, and then here, Surgical Goblin, stealing that victory back and closing it out in Game 4. So let's head to the floor where Rachel is standing by with Team Liquid.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm down here once again. It feels like this happens a lot. Canario, Surgical Goblin, you're cleaning up for Team Liquid, and you did a great job once again today. I want to talk to you both actually about a situation you both kind of encountered here. Early on in a match, you find yourself down some damage, down a tower. Surge, how do you come back from that mentally and strategically?
Yeah, so I was playing quite heavy deck, like the Lava Clone, which is better in double elixir. Like most of the beatdown decks are better in double elixir. So I knew that I should just try to stay calm, try to build up my push. And yeah, by doing that, like I end up taking his left side tower. And then I think like going same lane against his deck is a better matchup for me. So I just try to, yeah, make good trades, and eventually like I end up getting the elixir advantage.
Excellent. Keep your head in the game. Look for those great trades. Canario, you had sort of the same situation. Walk me through it a little bit when you find yourself down early on.
Bueno, decidí, bueno, empecé un poquito mal contra Kuchi, teníamos 2 Baby Dragon y la verdad es que el ciclo lo tenía muy malo y decidí tirar el rayo como para ponerlo un poco bien, aunque estuviera por debajo del elixir y así acomodármelo un poco. Al principio empecé un poco mal, pero después cuando conseguí adaptar el ciclo, pues remonté.
Oh, can you help me out there?
Yeah, so basically what he said, if I understood it correctly, that he had a bad start. Like Kuchi ended up playing really good with the baby dragons, but one time like he had an amazing lightning, hitting the lumberjack, mega minion, and I think also electro wizard. And then from that moment, like he basically broke through.
You were able to make it. Happy to see it. And when you go into a match, it's not just your opponent, it's not just the deck matchup, it's the deck choice that you pick early on. Canario, you are known for varying your deck choice often. I want to know, what kind of consideration do you put into the choice before each match?
Pues algo que un poco lo decimos entre todos, vemos los mazos que juega el otro y yo la verdad es que puedo jugar cualquier mazo en CRL, me siento confiado en todo después todo el entreno que he hecho, excepto ballesta, claro. Y después de eso, cualquier variación, cualquier mazo puedo usarla y lo que vea mejor el equipo es lo que uso siempre.
Yeah, so he said that he's able to use any archetype, any type of deck, except for Expo, but like how we decide the decks.
He hates Expo? No.
How we decide the deck is basically with the team, like with the coach, EB7, and then of course Diego B and Boofmek. Like we just all sit down, like in the Alienware training facility, and then we just prepare our decks together.
Well, fantastic. You had actually a little bit of a heads up in preparing your decks this time around, going up against Azili's Surgical Goblin. You were teammates last year. What's it like to face off against an old teammate? What knowledge holds over, and what do you have to relearn?
Knowledge, not really, because I feel like every player just adapts to the meta. Like in some metas, like a player is really known for example, using a lot of Golem, and then maybe in another meta, let's say like a lot of Lava Hound. So I didn't really have that much information about him regarding the deck. But of course, like I played a lot of times against Asilis in the past, so it's always fun to face someone you play a lot.
Well, fantastic. And I want to give both of you an opportunity here. We see you guys in the 2v2 and then often just cleaning up in King of the Hill, so we don't get to see Diego B a lot. We don't get to see a lot of Boofmak. I want to know, what do they contribute to the team when they're hanging out on the bench, and what does practice look like when you're all together?
You want to start? Okay. Well, so for sure, like they're helping a ton. Like as I said, I think in the last match, like the interview as well, when you asked about like making the 2 vs 2 decks, like we always practice against them 2 vs 2. Like they're an amazing duo as well. And of course, like Eric also, giving ideas. Like for example, once we used like a Golem RG deck, which was kind of crazy, but Eric always comes in with ideas and we just try them out.
Fantastic. It's the whole unit. Canario, anything you want to add there?
Pues en general que, bueno, lo que dijo Surge, y aparte que nosotros empezamos la liga y el 2x2 íbamos bastante mal porque usábamos prácticamente lo que usaba todo el mundo y no se nos daba bien, y ahora mismo estamos creando mazos, estamos viendo posibilidades nuevas y la verdad es que nos está yendo bastante bien.
One more time, Serge. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so he basically said that in the beginning of the season, we kind of started bad because we were using the decks which basically every team was using, like the Lava Hound decks, Graveyard, Roy Giant, like those 3 main decks. But then after we started using kind of like strange decks, like surprise decks off meta, we ended up doing really well, and that's why we were able to make the comeback.
Fantastic. Thank you both so much for the insights. Congratulations on picking up another victory. Now let's send it up to the casters. Take a look at those matches.
Well, what I heard from that interview was that Canario hates Expo just like me.
Oh, man, I did not see that coming. It's the best and absolutely best, but not as good as Team Liquid is right now. Their performance is fantastic. You saw talking about mid-season adjustments, especially adapting to that 2v2 meta, and that's paid off so well for Surge and Canario.
Yeah, you know, switching it up when you have people with this level of skill, changing it up to cater to what you are best at, which is micro interaction management. You saw it a lot today. Team Liquid now just surging to the top.
Speaking about surging, taking a look at this replay, Surgical Goblin against Azili's, and at this stage, it seemed like Azili's had everything sewn up, defended the Lava Hound push in single, takes down the tower, and it felt like just play defense for the next 66 seconds, and you've got this thing sold.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And, you know, when that lightning or that Ewiz came down on top, it seemed incredibly demoralizing. And when that Ram Rider was played to support the P.E.K.K.A., I'm sure that's when Surge saw the opening. He goes all out in the right and then evens things up. And as you said, as you move into double elixir, his elixir starts flowing faster and faster, and over time, his deck succeeds more. And he really put it to the metal.
Yeah, that was just a tough situation. Azealis, maybe he felt like he had to go behind on that P.E.K.K.A once he got it down in that lane, and already spending so much elixir, he felt he'd lost that tower. But as we saw, once they went same lane, it was Surge's game to play, Surge's game to win, and closes things out against Team Keso. We have one more match remaining. Let's head into it. Tribe faces off against Cream. Our final two teams are on complete opposite trajectories. Tribe has won their last two games, whereas Cream has quite shockingly lost their last two matches.
Yeah, Cream has really been struggling. They had a great showing when Luke Duggs made his debut, but since then they've done nothing but fall. And on the other side of it, you have a team in Tribe that almost nobody wants to win that's behind them, because if they win today, not only are Dignitas and Energy already eliminated, but so will Queso, Misfits, and Cream with a win.
Wow, that is a big, big shift in the momentum for everybody. So Tribe in a spot to almost solidify what our playoff picture might look like in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's actually a very, very good point you make. So now, with the 6 members of Cream coming out, their final 4, if you will, is going to be very surprising to see where they place their players. Will Luke Dubs be in the 2v2? Will Lindsay end up showing in 1v1? Who knows?
Yeah, Cream has been playing with their roster a whole lot, especially since the last 2 guys got added. Tribe, though, has pretty much stuck with the same story. Tommy and J-Monty and B-Rad as the 2v2 duo, and then mixing things up with Spades, Nitram, and Tommy. Of course, Spades coming off that amazing performance last time out with the beautiful King of the Hill sweep over Team Keso.
Yeah, that was absolutely astounding. On the other side of it, we have 8th place Cream at 4 and 5. Jose Brian, Lindsay, Flash, Diego E, Codigo, and Luke Dubs looking to stay alive, and this is really their last chance. As I said, a Tribe win today takes care of Queso, Misfits, and their opponents, Cream.
So heading into our 2v2 set, and yet again, Cream Esports has changed their roster with Lindsay and Diego E coming out in 2v2. Andrew, this is the 6th pair they've tried this season.
And you know, Rich, I'm not the coach of Cream, but I strongly dislike this idea. And the reason why is not because I don't believe Lindsay can play in 2v2. It's the fact that you're going up against one of the better 2v2 duos out there in the league in B-Rad and J-Monty. And Cream has struggled in 2v2. But you know who hasn't struggled is Lindsay in 1v1. He's 3-0 in that set. And honestly, if somehow they take this set from Tribe, they might be able to take it in 2, but not having Lindsay available for that final set could be an issue.
I mean, look, you do have Codigo and Luke Dubs, who are both very talented players, so they assuredly could show up in that set. People would say that they would be the 2 top players for the squad, but they haven't been here this season. Lindsay has, and he has been performing at a very high level.
I could not agree with you more. So Lindsay is now making his 2v2 debut. Top of your screen. They've got a rocket and a miner out already.
And Royal Giant behind the Giant Skeleton.
And a raged up Royal Giant. Very healthy. Inferno Tower down.
And the Lightning does its job. Royal Giant doesn't get on tower for more than 1 shot, but a second one, no, 2 shots, and a second one behind.
And despite that Giant Skeleton Bomb going off, the RG being as tanky as it is, getting a nice bit of shots in, and a couple more right here.
Well, you know, I got to think that Tribe recognized the elixir deficit of their opponents, especially playing that early rocket for the Baby Dragon value on the left-hand side. You're spending 6 to take out 4 and get some tower damage very early in the match.
Yeah, and you know, and Tribe has been going back and forth in wins in the 2v2 set in their last 4 matches, but they're still 6-2 in 2v2 sets. This is still not a team you ever underestimate in this set. So I understand Cream going for something new, but I think it's probably too little too late to switch up your 2v2 pairing.
Lumberjack goes to the opposite side, does not help, but still plenty of lightning value, and not this time doubling down with the Royal Giant. Tribe recognizing they are not in the same advantageous position they were earlier. And look at the
I
patience
love
from Tribe not to bite on that Rocket Miner combo.
It's been used many times before this season. Seeing the Miner out early, seeing the Rocket out early, Tribe knew exactly what Cream was going for, and it just did not hit for them. So now with 403 HP, this is the moment where Cream goes, okay, game 1 is lost. What do we do? How do we bounce back?
Yeah, they tried to get cute a couple times with the more experienced 2v2 duo, and it did not work out for them. So let's see if Diego E and Lindsay have something different to do in game number 2 of this set.
Yeah, I mean, I always applaud a team for trying something new, but in your 10th match with only 1 remaining against this 2v2 duo, you can't try that stuff that worked in week 1.
So now the 6th combination for Cream Esports in the opening set, stumbling out the starting block. B-Rad and J Monty looking calm and collected as always.
Yep, that is a very good way to describe those 2 gentlemen in blue. Or on the blue, I should say.
So opening pickup with the guards. And again, really getting aggressive with spells early is Diego E and Lintz.
Giant Skeleton coming down, knowing that Log is not there, and Snowball to knock back and slow their Royal Giant. A Lightning is expected, but doesn't mean it's going to happen.
And the Giant Skeleton Bomb does not get the Royal Giant.
And the Royal Giant did not get targeted by that Inferno Tower for the longest time, and now Tribe is off to a very, very good start.
Lindsay just took a very deep breath.
You see those Skellies coming in and making a great +3 trade for B-Rad and J Monty. Guards catch the Miner again.
And my guess is that the next time they go for a Miner catch, they're not going to use the guards.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean,
yeah,
them not being in cycle might be one reason.
Either way, you're right. So Lumberjack going to go down, going to rage up this Royal Giant and Baby Dragon. Giant Skeleton down to meet it.
And plenty of elixir there for the Lightning.
And there we go. Royal Giant gets a shot in again.
Yeah, Lindsay and Diego E are fantastic players. They're just up against a different caliber of 2v2 squad.
Yeah, and that's the best way to put it. 2v2 squad specifically. Now, who knows how they would fare in head-to-head play? You know, Lindsay's had a lot of success, but when it comes to 2v2, B-Rad and J Monty have 2 seasons under their belt, a lot of wins, and they struggled last season. That's something that a lot of people don't remember. You know, B-Rad was 3-5 in his 2v2 sets. J Monty was 6-6 and even, and you know, now being paired together and having the experience that they have, it's just another level.
All right, that last 15 seconds goes very well for Cream Esports. The Mega Minion came down for the Miner, and Rocket came in on top, got some damage there, and well defended.
Lightning in once again. Raged up Royal Giant will get at least a shot. That coupled with the poison. 2 shots in. That's going to be towered down.
Yeah, that's just a tall order to keep defending against that. And again, B-Rad, J Monty know the sequence. Now they just this Inferno Tower, and wow, that Inferno Tower could not have been better played.
Yeah. Very well played. Does give them poison value. Rocket value doesn't really matter. 772 HP remaining with 3 seconds. B-Rad and J Monty make very, very quick work of the 6th scene duo.
So Tribe in a great spot going into the King of the Hill, and this is where Cream Esports is supposed to shine, but at the moment, Tribe has been performing very well here as well. Let's head into it. So leading off for Tribe, it's going to be Tommy, followed by Nitram and J Monty. Across from him, the latecomer Codigo, Lindsay in the middle, and Luke Dubs batting cleanup.
Codigo still searching for that first CRL West game victory.
That's really crazy to think about.
Yeah, he's made 1 appearance in the 2v2 set, 2 appearances in King of the Hill, and just really having a rough time.
And nice opening poison from Codigo in response to the Furnace. And a cycled log for Tommy.
Yeah, and going up against a man that's been here all season long, who was a latecomer last year and made a name for himself. This season, he's gone 11-6 in King of the Hill.
That's a very good point to bring up, Andrew, that Tommy did join Tribe late last season and got mixed in. And, of course, the splash he made was massive.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people in the league did not know what hit them. He started off the season last year essentially perfect for the first few matches, and then started to, you know, do what all pros do, which is run into other excellent players.
So far, looking like classic bridge spam for Cody Go, and at over 10 wins, sitting at a 60% win rate.
Tommy here showing Furnace, Rascals, Guards. Tommy is known to play very off-meta decks, or at least changing the meta, or the typical archetype to better suit his play style. Also very well known for being able to play any deck.
Poison down for Tommy, getting some decent value, and the E-Wiz will stay inside the poison range. And so going with the Dark Prince version, not the classic.
Log coming down at the perfect time.
Now this is very interesting with the Dark Prince version, because unlike classic P.E.K.K.A bridge spam that's at 6 wins out of 10, this version is only at 4 out of 15.
Wow. That is a massive difference.
So we'll see if the trend continues.
Tommy here loading up at the bridge, getting that graveyard down. That P.E.K.K.A is going to be stuck. Nothing there to take out the Rascal Girls other than the E-Wiz and the Zap. Very well played defensively by Cody Go on the front end, but on the back end, those Skellies are wreaking havoc on his tower.
Yeah, that was brutal, and the poison you see finishing off the Dark Prince. Everything going Tommy's way as we get closer to sudden death.
And you kind of had to feel that it was a graveyard deck with how long he was taking to play his win condition, looking at the support cards around it. Ooh, and a missed log.
Does get on tower and do a little bit to the P.E.K.K.A.
But does not take away the Dark Prince's shield. So all around, a bit of a miss on that log from Tommy.
Battle Ram picked up by the Furnace. And guards down.
Yeah, very nice use of the guards there. A high P.E.K.K.A in response, knowing that Cody Go knowing that Tommy was most likely going to go in for his second graveyard push.
And Battle Ram opposite lane, minions in support.
Guards probably going to catch the P.E.K.K.A. There they are. Is there anything for the Bandit? There's 5 Elixir.
And nice Ice Golem to pull the Bandit over into the range of the Guard and those Princess Towers.
Just wonderful mechanics from the Tribe representative.
Cody Go trying to keep pressure in the lane of his strongest tower and not allow Tommy opportunities to support a graveyard push.
And that's exactly what happened right there. Cody Go doing exactly as Rich just said and keeping up the pressure. Tommy not able to play his win condition again, so he did take a big chunk out of that left-hand tower, but having trouble mounting another offensive push.
And nice timing for the Rascals, knowing that the poison completely out of cycle cannot clean up those girls in the back.
And now we see the graveyard.
Yep. Perfect timing. You called it there, Andrew, and might we see poison come behind? And we do.
Look at that. Minions gone. Battle Ram comes down defensively. A couple skeleton hits in. A handful of skeleton hits in.
Wow, that worked out very well for Tommy. So now with 1:20 left, he is in range to, you know, I wonder if we'll see him go one more graveyard rather than try to get a poison and log it out.
We have definitely seen the poison be the enemy of the holder in the sense of getting the poison down, thinking you have the game in hand, and then those ticks not coming quick enough. Your opponent stealing the match from you in those final seconds, but Tommy most likely not going to let that happen. He just needs a log and a poison. There is the poison.
There you go.
And
that's going to be it. Tommy opens up King of the Hill, taking out Cody Go. 2 more in front of him in this set.
Yeah, looking for 3 games in a row now in the sense of Tribe taking them from Cream. Cream needing to change something up right now in King of the Hill if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Lindsay up next for Cream Esports, and with the way Tommy's playing, that's Going to be a tough out for him. Of course, Lindsay has done very, very well this season. 6-6 overall in King of the Hill, but 12-8 in head-to-head games.
Yeah, definitely showing a lot of skill in head-to-head play, which is why I think he's so valuable to have in that 1v1 set if Cream can get there. And maybe that's the idea behind Cream's coaching staff, is going to be a tough time taking down B-Rad and J Monty in 2v2. Maybe if we put in Lindsay, who's been their star player, they could find a victory, but not the case. And Tribe is very close to eliminating Queso, Misfits, and Cream. And as we mentioned earlier, Dig and Energy fell out earlier today in their 2 losses.
Tommy showing potential signs of Lava Hound.
And having a good amount, or an adequate amount, of ground responses.
I am so shocked to see Lindsay playing Prince in this game, and Tommy putting both the guards and Lumberjack in this deck.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Lindsay's deck pool, he plays Prince almost all the time. He plays Prince maybe like 2/3 of his games, and he already got sniped hard for it once, and
Yes.
here you see again a perfect response to that Prince.
And I don't want to sound like we're picking on Cream, because that is not the case, but you've got to be aware of that. If we're up here in the booth and we're thinking of that stuff, you know that your opponents have been thinking about that for days.
Golem gets the tower, so does Lava Hound.
Guards and Flying Machine doing a good amount of work on that Golem. And a fairly even opening exchange. Lindsay does come out on top.
Heading into double elixir time, and now an aggressive high Golem from Lindsay.
Maybe bats to come on top of that baby dragon. There they are. Nice lightning.
Yeah, very nice lightning. So this is going to come out well for Lindsay. Tower going to be close to down.
So lightning now out of cycle. This is a good moment for Tommy to try to put together a big offensive push. He needs to get there before Lindsay cycles back around. And Lindsay's already 1 card away from having it back in hand. There's the clone.
Giant snowball comes in, but a lot of healthy troops still on the board. Lumberjack down as well.
Flying Machine was turned around by a very well-placed Mega Minion by Lindsay. However, Snowball takes out the Baby Dragon, and that is going to be tower down.
Tower down, and this all comes back. You know, Tommy played the Snowball in the left-hand lane on the Barb Barrel to force Lindsay to have to play that Lightning. He was not going to give him that one easily, and now that paid off. So not only does Tommy extend us to sudden death overtime, now he does an insane amount of damage on the King Tower.
And you know, not only does he make Lindsay use that lightning, he even tried to block it with the set of guards. So Tommy not making anything easy for the Cream representative, but does get the lightning in, but finds himself thirsting for elixir on defense. Bats in to take care of the Mega Minion. A very nice snowball from Lindsay.
Oh, and the cloned Lava Hound survives. So 2 Lava Hounds on tower. Pups pop. Lumberjack in the pocket.
Oh, Lumberjack does not get to tower. However, those 2 pups are going to town because that main lava was left untouched.
Huge exchange for Tommy. Lindsay knows it.
Yeah, and this is the moment where if you're Lindsay, you're going to have a very hard time finding a position to golem, especially against someone like Tommy, someone who is so aware of cycle and elixir.
And maybe he had to use that lightning there to avoid tower down in that moment, but in some ways that felt kind of like a frustration lightning.
Yeah.
Guards
in
will
again.
come down.
Yep, guards making a great +2 trade for Tommy, and that is going to be tower down.
Wow. Tommy is excellent, and you gotta wonder if those guards were put in there specifically because he knew he was up against.
Tommy played that perfectly, and then having the guards in there to basically take the Prince out of the equation just really put Lindsay in a tough corner. You see getting some condolences there from his teammates, knowing that that was a very, very tough matchup. So Tommy playing basically flawless through his first 2 King of the Hill games, and Luke Dubs is the last man standing between a 3-team elimination from playoffs.
That's a very choice bit of wordage there for you, Andrew. Last man standing indeed. This is do or die for Cream Esports.
Yeah, a team that It's kind of gone back and forth this season, having a lot of moments of looking like a top-tier premier team and then falling just as quickly.
They opened up 3-1, and that was without Luke Dubs and Cody Go. We talked about that quite a bit, and then got one win when the guys first joined, and then now one game away from a 3-match losing streak.
Yeah, and that adds up, especially as we get into our final week.
Bit of a slow start here. Luke Dubs has taken the first chunk of damage on the left-hand lane.
Barbs come down to protect that Musketeer. I'm so used to saying protect the princess.
Protect her too.
Mega Minion does not take out the Musketeer. Minion's not able to tank for the Musketeer due to that Baby Dragon. Well played by Luke Dubs.
Well played by Luke Dubs, but Tommy did force a lot of elixir to be spent by his opponent. Gonna go ahead and take that Baby Dragon shot, and now he's got a significant advantage.
A very, very solid point, and now Royal Hogs coming in with the Lumberjack assist.
Oh boy.
This is gonna be brutal.
Lumberjack gonna get on tower, and that is huge.
Yeah.
Tommy takes a massive lead just as we pass 100 seconds played in this game.
And you see the signature look up from Luke Dubs, kind of wondering what happened, how did that happen? And that's the second time a Raged Up Barbarian has either demanded a response or taken a hit on the tower.
If anyone needed a bad omen for Cream Esports, it's on his left-hand tower right now.
So Luke Dubs selling out in the sense of goleming up in the back, sacking the tower right in front. And that will demand a response out of Luke Dubs because those minions will be wreaking havoc on the golem. And wow, Baby Dragon sneaking in front.
And Prince going back the opposite direction. Barbarians in the back as well.
And Tommy coming at Luke Dubs from all sides. DPS units don't know where to go. Golem does get to the tower, but right when it bursts.
And Luke Dubs knows that's over. The good game comes out. And a good game it was for Tommy. Cream Esports still has one game left to play, but this is a bit of a shocker for them in this CRL West season.
And what a way to close out our day, our week, getting close to the end of the season with 5 teams now eliminated from playoff contention. 5, count them, Dignitas, Energy, Keso, Misfits, and Cream. And you see right there, Tommy knows exactly what he's done. And the craziest part is, Rich, every single team that is still alive in the 6th and above position can take first from Complexity.
That is absolutely wild, right? Yeah, looking at those standings, looking at the numbers, Tribe now moves to 6 wins. Complexity's only at 7, and a lot of the teams that are still in the hunt for the playoffs have 2 matches left to be played. Complexity only has a single one left.
Exactly. So a team that looked untouchable just a moment ago now has left the door open for a bunch of teams, including Tribe. And whether it's J Monty, B-Rad, Nitram, Spades, Tommy, they have all contributed so much to getting where they are right now.
And Tommy just with a massive lift today with that 3-game King of the Hill sweep. A big clutch moment for him. I mean, they did have the set in hand, and that is a 5-game straight sweep to end our day and to end Cream's playoff hopes.
And Tommy now adding his 2nd King of the Hill sweep. He's gone 2 down before and taking a loss in the final game. He was so close to having 4 King of the Hill sweeps this season, but honestly, I don't think anyone minds on the Tribe team or the Tribe bench. Tommy doing such great work, and I've said it before, he is such a treat to watch play.
He absolutely is, but now we're getting into the story of this playoffs, and we're going to get into this deeper later, but Tribe now, with still some matches left to be played, every single one of these games matters because of that gauntlet format. 5 is very different than 6, is very different than 4.
Yeah, and the deck pool just gets smaller and smaller, so we're going to hop down to the floor with our good friend Seltzer to talk to Tribe.
Thank you, guys. A great match for Tribe Gaming. I'm here with J Monty and B-Rad, and let's talk. Well, first of all, let's talk about your fashion. What are you wearing today?
Today we brought some goggles. I don't know why, but we were just like training with them, and for some reason it was really funny. So we thought we would bring it to an interview and just show them off. So yeah, I mean, I'll like model them maybe a little bit.
Yeah, give me a little modeling.
Give off some good vibes, yeah.
They're really tight, so like that's like part of the joke too. I thought it was pretty funny. So laugh.
There we go.
B-Rad, as 2v2 partners with Jay Monty over here, where are your goggles? Did he not hook you up?
He just has the one pair, unfortunately.
All right, guys, you had a great matchup there, and you went up against a bit of a different 2v2 duo from Cream. We had Diego E and we had Lindsay. What was going through your mind when you saw that that's who you were going up against?
Personally, I was a little bit surprised, but I had talked to Matt and Elk, both of our coaches, and they said that was a probability, seeing that they have 6 players, lots of 2v2s to practice with, so they knew it was coming. We prepared pretty normally. The game plan was just to stick to a comfort deck, which in this situation was Royal Giant. We tweaked it a little bit for the possibility that they might play Graveyard, but they ended up playing Miner, which was really favorable for us. So we just played how we always did, just like if we were back at home, and we came out with a solid win.
Excellent. The thought that goes into it, honed over a career of competitive Clash Royale, but also a season of studying your opponents. Do you want to give me a quick breakdown of how the season's played out for you?
Sure. So for me personally, I've been really happy with how we've done in 2v2. Before the season, when we found out that there were going to be no bans, we felt at least like we had been robbed a little bit of the past couple of months we put in. But I felt that we bounced back really well and got a good grasp of what it was going to be like before we went into the season. And then we took off from the start. We won, I think, 6 in a row. And then it really got to our heads, so then we dropped 2 really fast. Then
I think it got to your head, not really mine.
Yeah,
because he was number 1 in the world for a win rate at one point.
Yeah, it got to my head a little bit, but then I humbled myself and then realized that we got totally spat on. So then
0-4 that 1 week. Oof.
We worked hard again, and I'm happy that we won the 2 this week.
I'm happy for you guys as well. And one of the teams celebrating your victory, despite the fact that it came at their own expense, was Cream. You guys seem to have a great relationship with this team. Fill me in a little on what it's like.
Sure. I mean, a lot of the guys are just friends. Not me or B-Rad's friends personally, but it's just we have a lot of Latin American, players on our team. All of Cream is Latin American, so I developed a lot of friendships with the guys over at Cream. We had them over at our house multiple times to go swimming. And just do fun stuff. And all around, they're a bunch of great guys. Drexen is hilarious. Yeah, I mean, that's all you can say. They're just fun to be around, and we like them a lot. So, yeah.
Anything you want to add to that, B-Rad?
I just want to say that CRL this season just really friendly. We all like each other very much, yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. We are here playing games, so it's important to have fun, and nothing's more fun than victory. So give it up for Tribe Gaming and send it back up to the casters to wrap up the day.
So, a big result for Tommy and a big result for Tribe.
I wish I could just listen to the 2 of them talk all day.
Yeah.
They are just so enjoyable. I just love it. I love the mentality. They're all business when they're up on the towers. The moment on the way up and the second they're done with their last game, they're just right back to being who they are.
Yeah, I need to get some goggles.
Yeah.
Actually, my eyes are starting to get a little sore, so maybe that'll make my gameplay go up a couple levels. And today we have seen a lot of teams jump up a level or 2 as we dial our way in towards our playoffs.
Yeah, almost every single match had playoff implications. Immortals sweeps Dignitas and eliminates them. Misfits actually takes down Energy, but still is eliminated along with Energy. You got Complexity being swept by Immortals. Immortals, that's 2 sweeps on the day. And then we close out Liquid sweep over Keso, eliminated. Tribe sweep over Cream, eliminated.
That's a lot of teams out, but still things are very tight, and it's crazy to say at this stage in the season. But as mentioned before, any one of the teams still in the playoff picture could end up number 1. And to remind you, this is a gauntlet format for playoffs. So 5, 4, 3, 2, everybody has to play up from 6 up.
Yeah, and that is not a place you want to be in. So Complexity holding on tight to that first place at 7-3. Fnatic and SK chomping at their heels at 6-3. We've got Tribe Gaming, Immortals, and 2 more teams all tied at 6-4. Excuse me, 1 more team in Liquid. And Pain Gaming is the final team still in contention for playoffs. They can't take first, but they can still get into that top 6. We've got Team Keso, Cream Esports at 4 and 6. And at the very bottom, Misfits Gaming, Energy, and Dignitas all looking to ruin dreams in their final matches.
So a few teams still have 2 matches in hand, a few teams with just a single match remaining, and it's going to be very important to see where these teams fall out over the next couple of days as we move into our playoffs. And you can follow the action, of course, here on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Wednesdays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. over on the East, Saturday and Sunday. Brunch for the West Coast and lunch for the East Coast, so stick around. It's going to be crazy as we get closer and closer to Xi'an, China. I'm Rich Slayton. That's Andrew Guy. We cannot wait for these matches, and I can't wait for a good meal.
I'm going to go buy some goggles.
Yeah!